Okay, so pending the usual audio tests, we should be good. Let's give it a look-see here. A look-see. Wait just 1 second there, travelers. Wait just 1 second there, travelers. Okay, so we know our audio is good. Give me an additional second. I made the mistake of asking what I thought was fairly innocuous question on Reddit before I got on here, and I have been inundated with about 20 messages. So let me just check and see if any of those are pertinent. So just a quick little rundown. I made the mistake of asking, how could you? I guess this is technically relevant to the channel, so there you go. I made the mistake of asking people, hey, how could I make my Final Fantasy character look like a bear? I need some glam advice. I swiftly remembered that there is more than one type or definition of bear, and yeah, this is the internet, so I was not specific enough, and yeah, I'm getting a lot of suggestions. Oh my gosh, this is quite funny. I'm so sorry. We'll do the intro here in a second. Got a chuckle out of that. There's been a general reaction onto there. Oh, that's quite funny. I don't know why that got downvoted so many times. It was a perfectly innocent question. I tell you, Reddit's brutal on these downvotes here. But that's okay. I'm not like super sensitive about it. Just thought it was funny. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on to the intro here. So y'all might have noticed that we are currently standing in a housing area. Observant travelers might also notice that I have 2 million gil in my pockets. Now, how did that happen, you might ask? Well, you see, we have received a mortgage loan from a beneficiary. Some of this gold is mine. Not very much of it, to be honest. So 3 million gil was from me on other characters total. And we got a generous small loan of another 2 million gil from my wife, who is like a gillionaire on this game. She just recently purchased another medium house for herself for no reason. So we're going to see if that took, because I did bid on the plot, and then if that happens, we're just going to go straight to the MSQ. I'm just curious either way. Oh, yes, travelers! Okay, that's really cool. I did not think we'd ever be able to get housing. Much like in real life, you see, housing is at a premium, and when costs are extremely high, it can be quite difficult to achieve housing results. So, but as a sole beneficiary, this is now ours. We now own this. So, confirm the purchase of this private plot. Yes. That is now our house, travelers. And I want you all to know that I welcome you as guests. This is a Haukke Dynamis Data Center. What is the address here? Ward 21, Plot 55. We will get a message book, and I would love everybody to stop in and say hello. We'll eventually post up Fuchsia there in the stables. You guys can come say hi to Fuchsia. It'll be a great time. So, for right now, though, how do you get the actual house built? Housing. I just want to go ahead and put the thing on here. How does this work? How to for apply house? Okay, we have a call in, a phone a friend from Lady Dragonspoon.
Okay, get in there again.
The housing option.
No, go where your pad is. Okay, You have to go in there, and then you're going to do housing.
Just 1 second,
So
travelers.
It's usually /housing. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to go to estate settings. Okay, no, get out of there. Sorry. Estate hall. There you go. So you have to purchase one of those. Okay, now.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, I can take it from here. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so do we want a wood house, a composite house, which appears to be an amalgamation of wood and stone, or a stone house? The stone house, for sure, I can rule out immediately. That one, for certain, we're not building. I know there are different exteriors we can get, so it's just which one do we want to start with? I quite like the composites, and I like the wood. Oh, Travers, what do we think? I don't like the roof of the wood super well. I like the composite. I think is probably my favorite. I'm not super well sold on the wood here, but I like it probably the best. We're gonna go ahead and go with composite. Oh, I know. How'd that? Oh, okay. Oh, God, forgive me. I've had a house like one other time before this. Super exciting for me. Okay, look at us building a little house, travelers. Look at us. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do all the work on this off screen, just kind of update you guys. I do have a rule that I'd like to, at least for right now, set upon myself, which is that we can only decorate the house with things that we have made ourselves. That rule is largely impractical and may or may not change. So, we'll see how that goes. Also, a little fun thing I thought might be kind of cool to try. I've been considering doing, just for fun, a challenge stream of just first person. Just playing the entire game in first person for as long as possible until I inevitably get motion sickness and or die. That's, I think, a really fun idea. I can see that getting a lot of attention, but just in general, it just seems like a really funny thing to do. But for right now, yeah. Literary Bear. We now have a hut here, travelers. It's very exciting. So let's hop on Dragoon again, and we're gonna go ahead and just go right to it. We could progress. There's a lot of side content that we could do today, but I'm sick of being behind on the MSQ. We have 2 jobs at level 50, and we have pretty much all of our crafters and gatherers. I haven't done Grand Company turn-ins yet today, but we have pretty much all of our crafters and gatherers at level 50. So, at this point, honestly, our crafters and gatherers are suffering from not being able to access some of these other areas. So, we really need to get them caught up. And if we don't do that, we're going to seriously limit their applications later on. So, want to make sure we get that taken care of. One moment to make sure we get on there. Okay. Sure I can see this. All right. Just making sure everything's all situated. We got good quality going on. Make sure I mute the PS5 controller. I didn't see to leave that unmuted. Midrad. Let's do this. But please leave me be. I'm not long for this world. I looked death in the face. 'Tis only a matter of time before he comes for me. Just like he came for that poor woman. Phrasing. So to traumatize, first you were to soothe him. Soothe away. Just patting him on the head. You're right, you're right. It's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true, but that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was heading back from the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man, gobbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow, a winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman. One glimpse was enough to tell me that she died a gruesome death. In that instant, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Thal, come to claim her soul for his realm. Interesting. What, you're investigating this same masked man? If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to ensure that we won't have to suffer Madrod's hysteria ever again. Alright, teamwork. That's what I thought I wanted to... Wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for the help for this adventure. It's the least I can do to repay her for comforting me. Okay, talk to Aideen. So here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the scale kid known as a Ziz could inflict such wounds. That's why some folk are pointing their finger at them. I somehow doubt the answer's that simple, but for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of the creatures and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the deaths. Yeah. Some Zizes. So this behemoth is really fun. If you guys are only watching the core MSQ content, this will be the first time you might have seen this little guy. He is now our go-to Dragoon mount, until we can get something a little bit more suitable. We'll do this Fate just because we're here. Might as well. It's gonna kill Zizes, and it's almost done. So we shouldn't have to kill too many more past our leveling range anyway. It's usually the kind of stuff I look for. There's little stuff. A fun little side distraction. Yeah, because we'll probably need to kill maybe 1 more Ziz than we're required to do. And that's not that bad for a little extra bonus company seal. More than the experience. The experience is not going to be much. But there's several achievements and stuff tied to completing a... they're really far away. Tied to completing Fates, so I don't hate it. I also thought we were aiding a player, because I thought those were players. Sadly, no, those are the NPCs. But that's okay. We shall aid them anyway in all daily lives of the adventurers. But stay still and stop being such a beach. Alright, really? About to say, you do not want to fuck with me, Bane Might, here in about 2 seconds. How about that? How about that Dragonfire dive? Yeah, bet you regret your life choices, don't you? What I thought, sir. Sir. Oh, I did also get this. One of my favorite mounts in the game. Very cool, and it does this. Just very fun. Anyway. There she is. You've already seen to the Ziz. Good work, adventurer. So were you able to find aught to suggest that the creature was our culprit? Nothing. Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what it looked like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike Ziz from our list of suspects, which sees us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. That's a weird phrase. Interesting. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all of the victims have been comely maidens. Comely, for those who don't speak Shakespeare, just means attractive. I'd better watch myself, eh? Unseemly japes aside, there's a rumor been going around. There's some as whisper that after each victim died, her rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating, I reckon. I'm going to give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crag. The stick don't come with a fuse or anything, so you'll have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments, and I'll give them a gander. A gander. A little more southern than I thought she was. There's something you should know. I have been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Madron's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was a coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Madron's. I was thinking of heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in gaze with a giant eyeball. Let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here. in case you had a mind to investigate. Okay. So, sometimes when you're in quest lines like this is the first time we've encountered this. You will receive 2 quests at the same time. Now, often what that'll be is there'll be 2, let's say you're level 50, right? There'll be 2 level 52 areas, and you can take either of them first. There is not necessarily, in that case, a canonical choice for which one should be first, although you can utilize a little bit of cheekiness to figure out which one would actually be considered first. So by using the mount speed, the shared fate option, which you don't have access to currently, at least later, you can kind of tell because it'll be the first one on the docket. And then sort of the same thing with the mount speed options. So, for example, let's say that the options were Korthus Central Highlands and Korthus Western Highlands. Korthus Central Highlands would probably be the one that would be, well, it doesn't work quite this way in this case, but let me see here. What's another good example? Okay, Okapecho and Kozamuka. In this case, while you could go to either or first, you don't have to pick one or the other based on just that alone. Ukapecha is the one that you are more, like, canonically assumed to have chosen first. Again, does not really matter. But just an interesting little facet there when you have these split quests. That is often the case. In this case, I guess it's just pick whichever one you want to go with, but presumably you do normally have to do both. It's not like a choice. It's like a one then the other, not either or. So... Man, it would be nice to have flying, I'll tell you what. Oh, please ignore the dog. I think they're getting fed right now and they get very excited. Okay, so this is interesting. If you are a controller player, this is going to be a little weird for you. So I'm standing in the spot, right? What do I do? What do I do? There's nothing to interact with. They do fix this later. But what we have to do is go into our inventory, line up this circle, and then pop it down on there. Right? It's not crazy, I'll grant you. Later on, what they'll do instead is they will have an interactable point where that circle was. And then once you go to the interaction point, it'll automatically put you in your key item slot. They did that, I'm assuming, because they realized that some people would get lost. And when you're this early on in the game, because this is still fairly early, you know, it's level 20s, that can be a bit of a detriment to people who are already not gelling well with the content, but would be otherwise willing to give it another shot. I mean, in general, you want to remove barriers to entry, right? That's just in general. Also leads to less player frustration, and at the end of the day, the difference between putting a little thing that you can interact with there and not is pretty negligible to the overall design choices, so. Just gonna quickly look at our house while we're doing this. Sorry if I'm a little congested. I've taken some medication, but it might be a while before it hits. Bad allergy season. Well, Spark, too scared to go with 100 yalms to the rocker ranker. Aye, it has a name. But what's a few eventual spirits to the dauntless adventurer like you, eh? Well, these are just your garden variety crystals. 'Tis a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning aspected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire sand stick. Oh well. A monstrous bane might appear and you slew it. That creature had long been a scourge upon the folk fall ground. Intentional or no, you have done us great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder. Was it truly a winged eyeball I saw, or merely a trick of the light combined with blind panic? That works for those two. Oh, looks like an eyeball to me, sir. I know what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing balls of the eye variety. There'd been no promising lead in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep, knowing that that killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it this sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I'd been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there can be no doubt. It was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have mistaken it so distinct a creature for a banemite. But you and I were moms apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventurer friend here had a run-in with a banemite at the very spot you claimed to see that fiendish eyeball, isn't that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball. With wings I would have wagered an apple tart on it. Oh, he's serious. But listen, mayhap it's not as serious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be... Gods, of course. There must be more than one of those buggers. Oh, it's so obvious. But then that means, since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, then there must be even more victims as yet undiscovered. Gulp. Yo! I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to the experts. Yes, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventure. It was a pleasure knowing you. Okay, bye! While I burn to know the truth, some things are best left unknown. Lest you have forgotten, it was the rocky area to the west that I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you will want to alert the authorities. There is a guardhouse nearby. The servants there should be pleased of any information that pertains to the security of the region. So we're on the level 28 class quest, which, you know, if you were looking at the episode title, or stream title, you would know that we are halfway there. And we are actually over halfway there, which is very exciting. All we're doing today, pretty much, besides that little brief housing thing, and I'm sure I'll get distracted again, because, you know, human, is progressing the main story. That is our core focus today. We need to get as much of that done as possible, and it's a Tuesday, which is a regular streaming day. We'll do the other stuff later. So, for example, next bonus stream, which will be any time I can beg my wife for the time to do it, will likely be getting caught up on the gathering quest lines. What I'll probably do is go ahead and gather all the stuff for that off screen and just go ahead and progress their story quests. That will give us the most time to do those with the least amount of interruption and with the least amount of, like, fiddly bits, because again, this is a lore-based channel. If y'all want to see me gather, I'm happy to do so. I love gathering. No problem. But yeah, it's not something that by default I would think to include in this content. We have received a corpse. It's actually really dark. Greetings, adventure. So what I might assist you with? Gods be good, not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Identical deaths have been reported in the central shroud. While the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any, sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough. The creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end, none can say. The victims have all been young women. All are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them, so as to notify their next of... This button engraved with a lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. A family sigil, or that of an organization, perhaps? Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove pivotal in solving the murders. We need Looker on the case from the Pokemon series. Please, please don't bring him in. It's just a joke. Would have you hold on to that lily button. You will need it to continue your investigation. While it isn't standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on your work. If I might make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Mione. Mayhap someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon its sigil. I mean, it's not a stranger, to be fair there, Ethelmir. I am, in fact, one of your commissioned officers now. Specifically a second serpent lieutenant. And of course I knew my rank offhand and did not have to look it up, because that would be ridiculous. One second. Okay, just checking on that Reddit information. Sorry. Has the stream speed. Good today. No drop frames. Excellent. Okay. Oh, real quick, before we go too much further, I forgot to... I did my retainers today. Both of them, yeah? Nope. Retainers, nope. So I have to roll over a retainer. And I have to do the squadrons real quick. But it'd be good for you guys to see the squadrons, so we'll hop in here and let you guys see what we've done so far. Oh, we do have some new ones. Makote Archer, we're going to go ahead and dismiss her. We're looking for tanks or healers at the moment. So, we sent our guys out last night. Let's see how they did. Ah, ended in failure. Well, it'll happen. So, for right now, let's go ahead and do a balanced. I need to get some. Go train in physical real quick. And you can do that training 3 times a day. So we'll need to do that for all of our people. That way we get them a little bit further along. So currently they're training. They will be done in an hour. So an hour, 3 times a day. You can go in there and train them to increase their level. You're typically going to want to do that. And there's a nifty little feature in game you can do. It's this little guy right here. And all this will do is just set a reminder. You can also do this. I like to do that, where it'll mute the bell whenever you're in a duty. That way, if we're in the middle of fighting a boss, for example, I don't lose my mind when the bell goes off and it scares the shit out of me. It just is a perfectly random example that definitely hasn't happened. Definitely. Speaking of things that, you know, scare the shit out of me, I'm interested in some suggestions for Halloween content, because that'd be kind of cool. Something short, ideally. But, anyway. Good morrow to you, Wisteria. By your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for scones and herb tea. I would love to have scones and herb tea with you, but now is probably not the time. Well, isn't that a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite. Artisan-level quality, I would say. Where did you say you found this? On a dead body? Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize the lily sigil. You will have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You could do worse than beginning with Bernadette over at the Aetherite Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one. There she be. Need help tracking down the owner of the button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on then, show me what you have. So many jokes. Seemed to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old. Though I cannot claim to know its sigil, however, I can say with certainty that the white lily is a recurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there's a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Singuld, yeah. Singuld over at the Lancers Guild. That'll be close now. The one makes it a point of knowing all the citizens on a 4-name basis. Lancers Guild. I have never once spoken to this woman. We are a Lancer, almost a Judge Grew now, really. Bernadette believes that I can help you. Well, that is a rather bold assumption to make. I will try to assist, never you fear. But whether aught comes of it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? Fascinating. Work of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take up your time at Gentry's Ward, northwest of here. Wait, a memory comes to me. Of late there's been a man who is perpetually seated at a bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Ursendel, and I distinctly recall seeing a a markedly similar button upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he could tell you a thing or two about it. Real quick, I just want to go say hi to Wayne while we're here. I don't know if he'll have any unique dialogue for me, but we're right next to him. You continue to grow in strength from strength to strength, Wisteria. I should be very much like to witness how your skills have evolved. How fares the guild? The guild fares well. That is in no small part due to your positive influence, my friend. Those guild members who had the chance to cross lances with you went on to improve in leaps and bounds. Even those who but caught a glimpse of you in action have showed remarkable gains in skill and spirit. As you have been an inspiration to them, so too will they become an inspiration to those who follow, and so the cycle continues. As the master of the guild, I count my blessings that fate had seen fit to guide your steps to us. That was very nice, Wayne. I appreciate that. There was no reason to talk to him again. I just thought, you know what? We're right here. Let's say hi. I liked Wayne. He's one of my better guild masters. Quite like Lucian as well. But Wayne, I feel like, was very measured, had our back all the time. Willing to let us go a little bit further than safety would allow, just to test us, you know. He was a good one. He was a good one, that's what I'm saying. Just Sandel. I do not believe we are acquainted. Pray leave me to my thoughts. The sigil of D'Artancur's family. How is it that you came into possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman, her face was it marred in any way? I had feared as much. I can no longer feign ignorance. I shall reveal to you the truth of the deaths, but on one condition. You must promise to put an end to my lady's madness and free her from her torments. Oh, shit. Sits back down. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of our oldest and proudest families in Gridania, the D'Artancurs. During that time, I had the honor of waiting upon Lady Amadine, mistress of the household. Fair as summer was she, and possessed of a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a great change in her. Though my lady escaped with her life, death may well have been a kind of fate. Never will I forget the day her bandages were removed, and she beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. Unable to bear the thought of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within her chambers and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons, until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guests. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men. But my lady believed that they would help her to regain what she had lost. So began the rites of rejuvenation. These rituals seemed innocent enough in the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went on. Eventually there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaidens to her bed and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. I performed the dreadful task as bade, obedient servant that I was, but when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go to the place, not after the nightmare I had witnessed. So I left Haukke Manor, my home for nigh on half a century. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Amadine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavored to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I had resolved never to speak of my experience until you appeared before me. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay her tormented soul to rest as she swore you would. She awaits you in Haukke Manor, on the western edge of Central Shroud. Go now. Go and do what must be done. Okay. Seek entry. Going to... Oh. I don't know why I'm walking, but now that I'm over here, hang on. The triple try challenge I haven't had. Perhaps it will help me forget. That's so sad. Why are you forgetting? Sorry, I want to know this guy's story. He's over here on a rock, crying in a corner. What's going on? Ooh. Yeah, dissension is not a good subtype for us with this particular deal. Oh, come on. What did he say there? I suspect that you would let me win to cheer me up. I'm grateful the same. My thanks for the distraction. I have no idea who he is. I'm really curious. And that's the kind of thing that, like, when you think about content creation, right? Because I'm doing this mostly currently as a hobby, right? Eventually, hopefully, it'll become big enough that I can actually do it as a part-time job and then hopefully a career. But when you think about content creation and what it could mean as far as, like, creating content specifically for this that might be engaging and have some good positive feedback so that it continues to loop upon itself, right? A good short video would be, what the fuck is that guy's problem? Right? Why is he sad? That would be a really good short video that I could put up, and I feel like that's the kind of content that that I would want to see. I love watching little things like that. Especially because, like, people have probably seen that guy. Certainly anybody who's been to Gridania and been to Apkalu Falls. Like, if they're a summoner, the summoner quest line happens mostly in that little area. I'm willing to bet they ran past that guy loads of times and couldn't tell you his story. So what is it? He's got a name. He's got some sort of lore. He's sad, right? Did he lose somebody? What's going on? Like, what's up with him? So, be curious to see about that, but might be something I do over the weekend. And let me know of anything else like that. I mean, I'll probably put that in the video as well. But yeah, there's lots of stuff like that that I always find fascinating. It just doesn't get talked about a lot. Also, I would love to live in this mansion. Throwing that out there. Wooded mansion in a mountain forest is about the most perfect thing I can think of. Haukke Manor. Alright, we got two options. We can queue in this puppy as a DPS and see how long it takes. Or we could try, and you could just skip it and just go straight to being a healer where we will get a nearly instant queue. Real quick, let's just see, yeah. Okay. Once used by seed seers as a place for spiritual reflection and meditation, Haukke Manor was long frowned upon by the people of Gridania as a symbol of excess. After years of protest, the building was finally sold to a wealthy Wildwood Ellison by the name of Lady Amadine. While little is known of the lady, it was said that she was exceptionally vain. To maintain her impeccable beauty, she would spare no expense. From facial creams to concocted from the rare Corthan honeys, to shampoos derived from the milk of exotic furbals. Her daily ritual of beauty treatments escalated until it was rumored that she was bathing in the blood of her virgin maidservants. No amount of man-made tinctures, however, could hide the hideous scars she eventually suffered during the calamity, and soon she was forced to turn into a dark solution, signing away her very soul in a final effort to literally save face. Well written. So interesting thing about that, there was, of course, a famous woman, Future Me, put her up in the deal here, who was believed, it's some French, I believe, historical figure who did, allegedly at least, kill her handmaidens and bathe in their blood. And she believed that that would give her eternal life, eternal beauty, something like that. Another interesting little thing right here, while we're queued up for this, I'd be very curious to know if Lady Amadine was a figure in 1.0. Because oftentimes when they reference pre-calamity figures, it means that they had a pre-calamity presence. So, interesting. Interesting. While we're waiting, let's see what we can do about some gathering. Because it doesn't look like it's going to be that long. We can wait a little bit. Just trying to make the most out of our time. So while we're waiting, we'll do a little bit of gathering. I've been trying to complete the Crafters and Gatherers log. Oh, I did unlock these. The rings. Sorry. The Master Crafter, or Master Botanist and Master Miner ring. So that's pretty cool. Those are very useful. Or not very useful, but they are really pretty. So same thing, right? Comes down to it. East Shroud. Colthus. Colthus. Cold blimey. South Shroud. Shroud. Wow, Eastern Finland has a load. Central Finland. Shroud. Oh, here we go. That's right next to us. So we'll go gather that real quick, see if we can get some of those hiddens. Another reason why I want to go ahead and start getting progress on there is, like I said, we're kind of locked out of our crafters and gatherers. They currently can't do these, I don't think, because I don't have the quest. I have the level, but I don't have the quest unlocked, so they can't currently do them. A lot of jobs have actions that are locked out based on like where you're at in the story, or not where you're at in the story, but like where you're at in their job quests. So need to get on that. Cotton bowl, lavender. Let's see. So something we can do is we've harvested that lavender. That lavender is the only thing that did not have a shop sell price, which is why I went ahead and grabbed that, because it looks like it's used in a couple of recipes. Not very many, although when we look at this, how many is this used in, right? And it's a fair few. Some of it's pretty cool. So we'll gather up a lot of lavender. At least until we have enough to get that hidden seed. We did finish, outside of the unspoiled nodes, we did finish everything for Minor. So we have Minor completely cleared out up to level 50 on both disciplines here. And again, level 50, it's just the unspoiled nodes. These are essentially timed nodes. Hell, we're almost done with this one anyway. I can and will finish those as well. I just haven't had time to go in the background and like research these. There's a couple of really good websites and resources you can go to, obviously, to get that done. And I will. Like I said, just not been a priority of mine since I've had so much going on. But we're in the right place for this, yeah. Oops. Central bit branch. Yeah, looks right. Sometimes I double check just to make sure. There is a move, this one, that will reveal a hidden thing. However, again, we just talked about this. You have got to be a. You got to clear out the story to unlock that. So I'd have to go ahead and clear out all of the ARR story, and I believe that one's a level 55 move. So I would additionally need to clear out 2 or 3 levels of the other storyline in order to be able to access that move. So if you see, we're 58, so we should be able to, but yeah. The story says, nope, locking you away. And in fairness, it's a story-based game. Ooh, this queue is taking forever. Ooh, sorry, travelers. I'm used to being a healer main, so queuing for things is still relatively new to me. Usually I but snap my fingers and I'm in a quest, so it's a bit different. But yeah, a little bit of gathering while we're waiting. It's very relaxing. That's what I've been doing, so we run down while we're waiting for that to queue. So what I'm doing is just this. I'll be out here in the field and I'll look to see what I need. It's like mahogany. I have one. Oh, there we go. Real quick, we'll see if we can harvest this and get lucky. Nope. Might keep waiting. Dragoon. Bam. Okay, let's go face Lady Amandine in her House of Horrors. Full of void scent. Full of void scent. Okay. We are desynced to level 31, so we do have jump available, which is pretty cool. We do not have Dragonfire Dive, sadly, but we'll make do. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just realized I didn't even mention the new additions to the hotbar. Which are, if you notice above the cross hotbar, I have 4 skills currently showing all the time. That's just so that I can track the recasts. They will likely change, and that entire thing will evolve on a needs basis, but... Leave the tank might be new. So that returner flower means that the tank is not new, but is probably rusty. I'm going to guess he did what a lot of people do, and I strongly recommend it. Very good idea. But what a lot of people will do is they'll try out a job, and maybe they don't like the job, or they don't like it as much as they thought they would. So they try out a different job. Do that. That's absolutely is a great idea. Because if you really like the aesthetic of the game, but for some reason just something about it you're just not super vibing with, try out different jobs. They all play fairly differently. There's been a lot of complaints about the homogenization of jobs across roles lately. And I could see that. They've certainly moved away from a lot of the jank, I guess you could say, of previous patches. And some of that's positive. All the jobs play pretty much in line with one another. They always have, but even more so now. Final Fantasy is one of those games where I would never, at any point in this development, to my knowledge, which is fairly extensive with the patches, have said, oh my gosh, that job is just completely unplayable, and if you play it, you are doing something incorrect, right? You could say, oh, that job is underperforming right now, or oh, that job is unnecessarily complicated right now. Those would absolutely be true statements, but never has there been a job where I'm like, oh my god, they're just broken, they gotta fix it, or it's not gonna be fun anymore. It's all based on personal preference, which is exactly how it should be in a game like this. So even if your job, there is a meta, but even if your job is the worst in the meta, I guarantee you somebody in a ultimate raid will be clearing that content. Sometimes world first. It's just based on what you like. If you don't like the way that a job plays, you're not going to perform well on it. So find a job that you really like the design of, or the way it flows from a mechanical standpoint, or even just like the associated themes. Do that, or the lore. I like White Mage for basically all of those reasons. I get a little bit, it sounds tactless to say, bored with it at times, because it's something that I'm so familiar with that playing it is just an exercise in essentially like button rotation. It's so second nature to me that it's not a very stimulating thing to do. Even less so than the average healer experience, because I know it so well that it's just not threatening anymore. But there are definitely healing as a role I definitely do prefer. Big fan. The Manor. And I really wish I had a AoE attack. I don't, right? I didn't think so. Doesn't hurt, double check, Travis. Oh, as I was saying before when I got sidetracked by something else. So yeah, short Halloween games. Things that are story-based, ideally newer. That'll be fun little one-off experiences for Halloween. And I'll probably take one of our story progression days, either Tuesday or Thursday, and make that the Halloween day. I fucking love Halloween. I like Christmas too. I'm not overly fucking crazy about certain holidays. Like, I don't give a shit about Easter. I don't really care about, like, Abba Day or anything. But Halloween is amazing. And if you think differently, you are quantifiably wrong. Might be the first time I've said that on the channel, and I stand by it. Just like it was quantifiably wrong for me to use my life surge on my Vorpal thrust instead of on my full thrust. Quantifiably wrong. Yeah. Take that to heart. She's about to ready a floor cast. I don't know what it would have been, but it would have been a floor cast. Where did... Oh my god. I'm such an idiot. I didn't realize that elusive jump was was off the fucking cooldown, or off the like desync. So I was like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll elusive jump at the last minute, and then I'm just standing there like a moron. The fucking floor AoE hits me. I'm so sorry, healer. He must think I'm a complete idiot. If I had a keyboard, I'd actually type that out right here. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make your job harder. I just thought I had the elusive jump. First, I thought I messed up the combo. I was like, no, it's double tap R2 or L2X. But yeah, my bad, my bad. Oh. Joys a keyboard. Just put I just put in the chat dark matter cluster with no context. Okay, so there's two ways to go down here. Oh, okay, he's going the ballsy way. I was gonna say there's the safe way and the ballsy way. He went full balls to the walls there, and I respect it. See, I cannot do DPS to everything, but I can single target something, god damn it. Been leveling up the thaumaturge in the background. I'm not actually sure what level we got it up to. Let's check real quick for you guys. We got it up to level 12. I have not done much with the bard. There's been a lot going on. I was focusing on some editing. A lot going on in my primary job. That's been fun. But another day, another dollar. Government will take half of that, and the other half will go to bills, so another day, less dollars. I'm coming. Trying to go into every room. You know, I remember these guys having a lot more health than they do. Those Manor maidservants. I just remember them having, like, a ridiculous amount of health. It doesn't seem like they really do. Am I doing that wrong? Don't let me mess it up. I want to see 100% of this dungeon, but I don't want to mess up everything. And I think that's what I was about to do. Because you have a limited number of those keys that are accessible easily, and I think I might have just almost put that in the wrong door. We would have to backtrack and shit. Yeah, so see, there's no way to get in there. That's unfortunate. Oh, there's a tiny key right there. So whenever I get done with this dungeon, what I can do is I can just... I can go back down there myself, grab it real quick. Even if I die, not that big a deal. I'll leave the dungeon. I don't want to inconvenience everybody else just for my desire to have that done. How did that hit me? Okay, bloody parchments. Arcane text appears to be written in blood. Could it be the clue to breaking the sealed barrier? Whoop. And he's off. Lady Amity. Ooh, I don't like the way she's lifting up there. We'll paint that. Hated that. Okay. Well, let's go. That noise is so loud. There we go. Yeah, take that, Lady Amity. I love that healer's glam. I just noticed it. I love the like doily dress. It's very cute. Little flower in the hair with the earring too. Very cute. Need that. And we'll give it to the doily white mage. Good job. Okay, real quick. I'm gonna go explore the rest of this area real quick. And did indeed get some stuff here. Might die. I don't think things desync here. That does appear to be locked. So. I would appear to be dead. Very, very dead. I don't think any trick at my disposal is gonna change that. Yeah, but that's okay. We'll come in here later, desync it, just to explore the rest of these rooms. See, I feel like a cat that just got stuck on the end, just like scratching. But let's continue on here. Ooh, something's happening. Darkness has taken root within these halls. Sprung from the most unlikely of seeds, one cannot help but admire the irrepressible spirit that quickens it to life. Excuse me. Oh, not one, but two. Damn. It's our pleasure to meet you at last, adventurer. You're every bit as intriguing as our master gave us to believe. It is no ordinary mortal who can acquire one crystal of light, much less three. The crystals make you strong, and it is that strength that the light is drawn. Heidelin chose well. Interesting. So he's of the sword and he's of the staff. Pity that your existence is irreconcilable with our own. We cannot well allow you to continue upon your present course. Alas, we came here not to play, but to take measure of your strength for Master Eorzea. That task is now accomplished. We take our leave of you. Fare you well, bringer of lights. Just gonna stroll out of here. Okay, thanks, bye. Let's report back to Renadell over here. And Renadell. What's the best way to get over there? Probably in game. There we go. You are returned. What sights awaited you within the manor? What has become of Lady Amadine? You must tell me all. So we went so far as to consort with devils. Would that I could have done more to prevent her fall. May she finally find peace in the beyond. I know not whether the masked men you encountered are the same pair that first led my lady astray, but it is plain that they are the same vile brood. Should the chance ever present itself, promise me that you will visit upon them tenfold the woe they have brought upon others. But who am I to speak of punishment? By my silence I allowed I know not how many innocent young women to die in unspeakable circumstances. It matters not wherefore, through misplaced loyalty, cowardice, or both. I am an abettor into a gross crime. I will surrender myself to the authorities and will accept whatever punishment they deem just. I only pray that the gods will have mercy on my soul. I'm supposed to just read these, hang on. So dutiful did I serve my lady in happier times, only to forsake her when she needed it the most. My failures will forever haunt me, and yet with your brave deeds, mayhap my lady's tormented soul will find peace after many years of woe. Typically speaking, whenever you're near somebody after a quest line like that, you should probably talk to them if you care about lore. And if you don't care about lore, why are you here? Frankly, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy you're here. But why, though? Because like, it's a lore-based channel, or at least a story-based channel. And I like to think I'm relatively entertaining to watch whenever I'm in a little bit more higher spirits. But, yeah, you know, just saying. Be an interesting choice. It's like people go to the movies and spend the entire time on their phone. Never get that either. Oh. Okay. Go upstairs, go extract a couple things. Pray return to the waking suns. Return we have. I mean, do a cinematic walk on us. That was pretty cool, though. Okay, let's look into this here. Welcome back, Wisteria. Full glad am I to see that you are safely returned. Tell me, how fared you on the sojourn to the Twelveswood? Yeah, we met some Ascians. 2 of Lahablaya's minions, and they sought to measure your strength by their own admission. The devils taunt us, it is beyond doubt. Then the Ascians have begun to move in earnest. Would that we knew to what end. Yet I will not bemoan our plight. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we are at least aware of the encroaching darkness. Alas, we can only do so much. It is clear to me now that the Scions are too few to protect the realm against this threat unaided. We must needs alert the 3 nations to the presence of this elusive enemy, and recommend that they heighten their vigil. There is no shortage of misery in the world that the Ascians might exploit. We have an arduous struggle ahead of us. Yet come what may, we must not allow ourselves to become lost to hope, for that is precisely what the enemy desires. We have gleaned all that we can from the information available to us. Let us set this investigation aside for the present. Another matter has arisen that requires your attention. Let me know when you are ready to be briefed, and I will summon the others. Skeletons. Oh, Yestola. Yestola. The Maelstrom requests our assistance. Concerning kobolds, they sent such copious notes on, I presume. Yes and no. It has more to do with their findings, which portend a peril far greater than any beast tribe. What sort of peril? The worst kind. A tribe of kobolds in the vicinity of Limsa Laminsa has reawakened Titan. Our task will be to slay the Primal. The Maelstrom have sworn support for the endeavor. They are no strangers to the havoc kobolds can wreak. Years before the Grand Company's reformation, 2 primals, Leviathan and Titan, chanced to converge upon the seawall, wreaking untold devastation. There, by the grace of the Navigator, were the mercenaries Mirrorweb hired, able to fend them off. Yet it did not take long for the beast tribes to regroup, and they summoned their primals once more. Thankfully, their second coming was decidedly short-lived, but that is beside the point. So long as tormented souls will them to exist, the realm will never be rid of the primals. The Maelstrom has to keep a watchful eye upon the beast tribes, and the kobolds in particular ever since. Which brings us to the matter at hand. Unlike Edfrid, we know scarcely anything of Titan. Unfortunately, the only force known to have bested him, the modestly named Company of Heroes, disbanded 5 years ago. Mercenaries are not in the habit of keeping chronicles. Expect the worst, excuse me. The Maelstrom's help is, of course, appreciated, but even if we had their whole armada at our disposal, we could still find ourselves overmatched. I pity the kobolds lack the gentle sensibility of the sylphs. A peaceful resolution would be more than welcome. The echo will not avail you this time, I fear. If you are to survive, your steel must needs speak for you. No one would think you a coward were you to decline. Oh, we going. We going. So you will accept? Thank you. We can't very well send her to Limsa Laminsa without your stoler, can we, Minfilia? May I ask that of you, your stoler? I never thought it in question. Ever reliable. Very well, we will spare no effort to win victory. You may count on the full support of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and all not afield will aid the fight from afar. Thancred, Ida, go to the Grand Companies. Tell them of our plight and solicit their support. Oyanje, send word to the students of Baldessian and Alphano if you would. Pabalimo, compile all the information we have on Titan, little though it may be. You'll be surprised at the tactical situation when you reach the Sailor's Ward. Be apprised. Provision yourself for the journey. May you walk in the light of the crystal. Okay. This is a level 30. I think we skipped 29. Did we skip 29? It doesn't really matter. I mean, quest to quest. I just could have sworn we went from 28 to 30. I'm going to check just out of curiosity. Yeah, we sure did. 28 to 30. Cool. I don't hate it. While we're queuing that, go ahead and queue up for this puppy here. For the Wanderer's Palace. This is a bonus quest line. Let's read this out. I think I initially said we were going to wait for this, but then I decided, you know what? We need a bonus quest for this, and we'll do this. Decades of kobold mining deep beneath Okamora gradually weakened Upper Lenosia to the point when the calamity struck. The land surrounding Bronze Lake collapsed, draining its waters and revealing a palace of unparalleled beauty. Thought to be built by a Nemean civilization which thrived in the area some 15 centuries ago. The palace appears to have been dedicated to their patron deity, Ocean, the Wanderer. In search of bounty she may hold, treasure hunters have already begun to delve into this forsaken place. But will treasure be the only thing they find? As I was reading that about halfway through, I remembered I actually have read that before out on the stream. So, there you go. You got it again. We'll double down there for you guys. Okay, let's talk to Roshi Tricky. Hey, Leventia, and welcome to the Maelstrom Command. If you wish to know more about enlisting, speak with a personal officer. Unless you are guests, as we are told. Forgive me, madam. To business, then. It is as we told the antecedent. The kobolds have once again summoned Titan. A little over a month ago, we began to observe the beastmen moving south in increasing numbers from Ogamora. Our scouts subsequently confirmed the object of their aggression. Crystals, fodder for their primal. Thank you, High Commander. You may leave the rest to me. Word has spread of your accomplishments, Wisteria. On behalf of Limsa Laminsa, I thank you for heeding our call. Forgive the lack of forewarning, High Commander. The Admiral wished to address Wisteria personally. We are no strangers to conflict. Long have the Sahagin and the kobolds plagued our people. Nor is this the first time we have had to address a primal threats. In the past, when Titan rose to threaten the peace, it was the company of heroes we turned to. But they are long disbanded, and we must look to other brave souls blessed with the strength to face our foe. So it is that we turn to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, confident in the belief that you are Eorzea's best hope. I hope you are right, yet the situation is far from simple. The kobolds are not prone to unprovoked aggression. Did not the Thalassocracy... Thalassocracy? Oh, I think I've looked that up last time I saw that word. It means like naval democracy, basically. So, Thalassocracy, we're just going to go with that. Make a pact with the beastmen that would keep to their own lands, and no blood would be shed. And was it not the Lemosins who violated this agreement, dissatisfied with their lot? Shall we then condemn the beastmen for defending their homes? Even a pirate must one day reap what she has sown. I would advise you to choose your words with greater care, Lady Eorzea. Stand down, High Commander. She has the right of it. And the wrong is mine. Freely do I claim it. Yet it makes little difference. Remorse will not shield us from Titan's wrath, or would you have us follow? My apologies, Admiral. The safety and security of Limsa citizenry are, of course, of paramount concern. Already we have observed disruptions in the flow of ether further inland. The effect will be felt here in the city ere long. I ask much of you, I know, but the need is great. Can I count on your help, Wisteria? Just put me in there. You have my thanks, along with the full support of the Maelstrom. I await good tidings. That the Kobold should summon Titan demonstrates they are no longer amenable to negotiation. This being the case, we must needs prepare for conflict. Before we meet Titan in the field, however, it would be wise to learn all we can of our foe. And I can think of no better source of information than the mercenaries who defeated him once before. The company of heroes may be no more, but several of its former members still live. It is said that one of them is employed at the Greyfleet Mills at Lower Lenosika. Quite why a mercenary should choose to become a miller, I do not know. When you find him, mayhap you could ask him for me. I, meanwhile, shall seek his fellows. So, and I get it, you know, we're about to go fight an actual god, right? You know, it checks out in lore. Just put me into fight. Like, I'll stab him right now. Just show me him. I'm good. We don't need to research him. Just put me in, please. I think they have cut down on a lot of this, though. Which is for the better, in my opinion. Although I've not heard much contest on that. Like, I don't know of anybody who's like, oh man, I wish they'd put in all the grindy stuff they took out. Game was a 10 out of 10, but without the grind, oof. Oh, didn't I need to kill Opkalu for some reason? What do I need to kill Opkalu for? I don't think it was just for fun. Hey, look at me go. Sorry. I'm doing much better about this lately, but if we run right past a hunt I know I have, I might as well grab it here while I can. So we've unlocked Bard. This is actually my first time using it in this case. I don't remember what Mage's Ballad does. I'm not going to lie to you at all. Currently, I'm singing it, and other than that, couldn't tell you. It doesn't seem to have provided much by way of appreciable damage buff. I think it might be making me faster on my GCD. It seems like Bloodletter is available more frequently right now. That might be my imagination, but that seems to be the case. Shoot that bird in the head. He just hit me with a fish. The disrespect! Did you see that? He hit me with a fish! Huh. Rude. I definitely feel like I'm slower. Let's just read that real quick, so I'm curious. Mage's Ballad. All party members increasing damage by 1%. 1%. Can get more repertoires, though. Reduce the recast Bloodletter by 7.5. Okay, so I wasn't imagining that. I just really felt like it was just churning out like crazy. I was like, why am I getting so many Bloodletters? Just occurred to me also, we could just be doing this quest as Bard. So let's just do that, and that way we'll be on par level-wise, get the most benefit. So So we'll do that. That way it's still a little bit more engaging than the white mage as far as, like, certainly visually. But also for me, you know, playing it. And then also it will go a little bit quicker. Oops. That being said, though, a moment, please. We do need to set up a couple things while we're working on that real quick. Put that there for now. Traits, roll, Peloton, like gray, second one needs to go here. Here. Right here. And I don't actually know of any others that need to be on here, to be honest. There's not a whole lot that you really need to be casting super often on this thing. Barrage, I suppose. Barrage on there. Matter of fact, we'll remove Mage's Ballad. I'll probably build a specific one just for the songs eventually. And Battle Voice. Sure. And then let's lower this song gauge down. Apologies for the brief distraction here, travelers. Move this too much further down. I won't do it for now. We don't have a song where currently that's going to be in the way. I like it. I have a very specific way I like my HUDs. I feel like most people who play the game a while typically do. And it's all just down to personal preference. Like I said when we first started doing it, it's entirely up to you the way that you want your HUD. It is your HUD. Don't ever let anybody tell you it's wrong. I might tell you I don't like it. I will never tell you it's wrong. Okay. Lay down your burdens, son. Come drain a pint with me. We'll have a grand old time. Find ye a lass or three. You gotta say something, Venture, or just keep staring. Eh? You wanna know about the company of heroes? Ah, hells. Price of bleeding fame. Can't a miller mill in peace no more? Still, seeing as you come all this way, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to oblige ye. Consider yourself lucky, lass. Old Tractum was the company best axeman. Now, when was it you wanted to know? What was it you wanted to know? This is one of the worst quest lines in the game, sadly. So you want to hear about the tale of the company's best of the primal, do ye? Let me guess. You mean that bastard's Titus, aye? Oh, if only you'd been there to see it. 'Twas a mighty struggle, like the legends of old. Me and the boys fought him for 3 days and nights, we did. The ground trembled with every step Titus took. And when he hit ye, girl, it was like a cannonball to the gut. Ugh, just like that. What's I look for? I'm a goddamn hero, I'll have you know. People around here sing me praises. Don't tell me you only care about learning the secret tactics we used to beat old Titus. Well, too bad, because now I'm not feeling charitable. If you're so damn desperate, then why don't you do me a favor and kill those rats that have made a nest up by the windmills just south of here? Aye, do that, then we'll talk. Yeah. When they were cutting... oh, shit. When they were cutting things from the game, I distinctly remember being like, man, I hope they cut this guy out. That was a while ago. They did a lot of removal of things. But, okay, Wanderer's Palace, bonus questline. This is pretty exciting. So, Tonberries. We have not yet unlocked Scholar. I'm going to spoil some things about Scholar. Because I can't talk about the Wanderer's Palace without talking about Nimia, Nim, and Scholars. The two are so intertwined as to make no difference, and it's going to be, like, I think you actually come into an instance area of this later on in the Scholar questline. So that being the case, I'm going to try to keep it relatively brief as far as the Scholar itself spoilers, but again, almost no chance you don't get some spoilers from it. Just keep that in mind. This will not be in the fully recorded version. So if you don't like it, you are also free to skip this part for now until you get to that point. We'll not hold it against you. But, so, Wanderer's Palace. It's built essentially in reverence to Ashan, the Wanderer, who is one of the 12 deities of Eorzea. He is probably, in my opinion, he's certainly my favorite because he's wind aspect for one thing. Probably the closest to Azim. Again, we just talked about spoilers. I suppose I should have mentioned that before I even mentioned the word Azim. Azim is a figure who will matter a lot later. Now, I have not finished the 12 deity raid, so it's entirely possible we've already learned this. But I know that all of them have to do with the unsundered areas, let's say. All the 12. Although their specific capacities elude me right now. So, it's one of those things I'm super excited for when we get there. Get to learn all about that together, because that'll be very fun. But we're not there yet, at least I'm not. So, once we get to that stage, we'll know a little bit more. But for right now, suffice it to say that, like, Arshan, favorite guy, big into wandering, wind aspected. He's all about exploration and sort of freedoms, right? In the second or third, I believe it was the second. The second Umbral Calamity was not the War of the Magi, but instead this sort of like... Yeah, that was the lightning one. So in the second Calamity, and I'll do a whole video about this, I'm sure, it was essentially a lightning aspected calamity in which essentially the entire Earth was covered in lightning, right? So people had to go underground, and had it not been for the advent and study of magic, they would likely have died, because they would have been so, Did I get poisoned somehow? Sorry. It took me totally off guard. They would have likely died without magic, because they would not have been able to essentially keep themselves free of any type of diseases, pestilences, raise vegetables, that kind of thing. And they would have perished without magic. It did later lead to a much bigger problem, but the way that magic worked back at that time, because this is back relatively early on in the world, in this case. So there was not a lot of, at the time, architecture or artwork, or... The gods kind of existed, but they were not the sort of central deity that we know now and have a little bit more lore about, essentially. But because of magic and because of the way it worked, was typically the second Umbral Calamity was thought to have been brought on essentially as a punishment from the gods. And so worship of the gods was thought to be the redemptive way to fix things, right? And they used that sort of reverence, that sort of power of emotional spirit and the sort of request on the land to fuel magics. And because they've done this, right, and because we know now how Dynamis works in general, but also just in this case, that power resonated with the world. It had nothing necessarily, to my knowledge, to do with the gods themselves interposing any type of will in this regard, in this particular instance at least. But they ascribed it to be so because, again, they're new. At that point, people were not quite as strong as they are now that we've said here after several rejoinings. They were hollow fragments, and it's an interesting concept when you think about a certain villain later, let's say, when he talks about how he didn't even view what they were doing as murder, because to him we didn't exist. And those first couple of rejoinings, it could be said that we were almost in what is likely to be analogous to like a vegetative state, right? Human beings, such as they were not really fully functioning, let's say. They're not what we are now. They are all, at that point, like, they can talk and they can somewhat reason, but they certainly lack the depth of emotion or like knowledge that certainly an Ascian, an unsundered Ascian would have, but also just a general person. Like, at that point, they are not really fully vested into humanity. They're kind of still on the outskirts of being... It's just like waking up out of a coma, basically. They're just not really all there. So while that's going on, they don't really... They describe it just to be some sort of divine intervention from the gods, right? That's what they ascribe their essentially saving being. That's what the magic was for them. Sorry, there's a lot going on over here with the tomberries and everything. Where is the tank? There he is. I don't remember this dungeon super well. At least in terms of the mechanics. The lore I remember a shitload of. But Nim, I say all that to say, Nim is one of the cultures that flourished during this time period. They developed their own sort of, It's a culture, but certainly they developed their own design, right? They found who they were as a people, later flourishing, and they did end up having more problems. One of the issues was they didn't, while they were certainly further along than any of their predecessors in terms of, like, knowledge and understanding of the world, they lacked a lot of it, and the Asians used this against them to essentially have them make poor choices. So all the Tonberries are essentially Nimian. They are Nimians who've been affected with the Green Curse, or I can't remember if it's called the Green Curse, the Pale Curse, something like that. We will talk about that at great length whenever we get to the Scholar questline. But for right now, suffice it to say that, yeah, they're not happy, the Nimians, and they're infected with the Rancor. I think it's just called the Rancor a lot of the times. And they are now Tonberry, which, as it goes, you know, is not the end of the world. The chief NPC for the for the Scholar questline is a Tonberry. I don't remember the resolution of that questline in earnest, but I'm hoping at some point you get to see him as not a Tonberry. That'd be pretty fucking cool. I'll let you know when we get there. Cutting through here. Yeah, back then, just to clarify too, just in case there's anything misleading about what I'm saying. Back then, they were not Tonberries. They were humanoids, mostly humans. Here's and oh shit. Why didn't he bring these over to the group? Yeah, there were mostly Hears or Elezen. There were likely quite a few Elezen. Probably some Lalafels. Like to think there's always Lalafels somewhere. Oh, they pulled without me, dicks. Sharpening that knife. Oh, I love him. I love him. Okay. Alright, we are here to slay a king. There we go. I love the little fishtails. If I had to pick, it's funny. I love cute things. I'm not that big a fan of Moogles, though. If I had to pick, like, top 5 Final Fantasy, like, creatures that I like, Tonberry would definitely be in the top 5. Tonberry might even be in the top 3. I'm quite happy. I'm quite, like, enamored with their design. They're very cute. Pass. Okay. Oh, we're back in here. Yeah, that was the bonus dungeon there, and I don't believe no quest turn in for that, do we? I don't think so. At some point, I really need to just do this to clear it out of my quest log, if nothing else. We might do that as to end the stream. How long have we been going for, speaking of? Oh, just an hour and a half. Yeah, we still got some more questing we can do. Titan might be a good lend-off point if we can get there. Oh. The Rat King. I love it. Does he have a little crown? He does not seem to have a little crown. Well, that'd be a shame. Would love it if he had a little crown. Well, I tell you, it is raining and raining. Alright, let's see here. Eh, so the beasties are dead, are they? Nice work, Ventura. Save me the hassle of, never mind. Alright. What? You still asking about how we beat Titus? I don't know, Ventura. It was a pretty risky strategy, the kind only a veteran of 10 skull battles could rely upon. I want to teach you, I truly do, but unless you prove to me you have what it takes to face that bastard, that fat bastard, damn, I can't in good conscience tell you a damn thing. At the very least, you'd need to be capable of slaying, say, a gobu. Come to think of it, that ain't a bad idea. Them creatures have a taste for the flour milled here, so ye ought to have no trouble finding one in the vicinity. Of course, I ain't ask you to cut down one as quickly as a skilled axeman like myself. Any road, why don't you try heading due west and stand at lookout in case a gobu comes calling. Slay it, I might consider telling you more about old Titus. I hate this guy so much. To me, he embodies the absolute problem with every story-related issue that I've had with this game. And they're not many. Still love the game overall. Still love the story overall. Fantastic. But he represents and is emblematic of every problem I've ever had, which is what I would call video gamey quest lines. Like, which is essentially, if you think about, you think about it pretty clearly just from the context of what I just said. It is just quests that exist because of video game. They don't exist to further a enjoyable gaming experience or to better wrap up a narrative or to flesh out an area. They just exist because game. Because game expect game thing. That to me is the worst type of game design. This game is very old and this content is the oldest of it. But I'm glad that they moved on from this as a whole, because I do think it's not to say that it's lazy, but it is to say that if the quest doesn't serve anything, why is it here? Right? It's just bloating at that point. Ah, you again. The gobu was that was harassing the mills is dead. Didn't think you had it in you, Venturer. Still, you took forever and a day to get the job done. I'm still not sure I should tell you our secrets. Motherfucker, I will shoot you with my bow. How about that? So, as I was saying, I still don't know if you've got what it takes to face Titus. Maybe if you slew, tracked him. You in here drinking again. If you are that gobu, it better be dead. Oh, it's dead, Chief. You have me word on that. Cleave the bastard's skull in two with my trusty axe I did. Is that a fact? And what will your friend here say if I ask her? She'll vouch for me, of course. Ain't that right, friend? Tell me true. Was it Tractum who slew the gobu, or was it you? Chief, what are you saying? It's me, Tractum, finest axeman ever served in the company of heroes. The legendary mercenaries who slew the bastard Titus. Titus? Titus? Who in seven hells is Titus? Some primal you fought in a half-drunken, sodden dream. The company of heroes slew Titan, you bloody half-wits. Yes, see, Titus was what me and me lads called him that day. That's the biggest load of Sahagin shit I've ever heard. Both of you, outside, will learn the truth the Lamosan way. Tractum, if you didn't slay that gobu, you may consider your contract revoked. We have to, like, compete at splitting rocks in two or something, I think. I feel like I remember that. Alright, you know the rules. First one to smash their boulder will be judged as the gobu slayer. Don't think about trying to kill me, that's cheating. Who picked these boulders? They're nothing alike. Ah, the hell's with it, let the contest begin. Honestly, I'd love to kill him, not because of any desire to complete this competition, but just because I hate him. I'm not paralyzed, but I seem to be struck by you. I don't have Wanderer's pay on, so you can fuck yourself. I honestly think I probably could have blitzed my boulder down before that bomb would have ever even tried to go off. Alright, I admit it, I lied about being in the company of heroes. But I'm begging you, Chief, please don't dismiss me. I've learned my lesson, honest I have. Save your brother and tract him. As I should have known. Mercy, please, I didn't want to deceive you, I swear. I just kept getting away just kept getting turned away by all the folk I asked for work, and I panicked. See, the last job I had was at Costa del Sol, and there was this grizzled marauder everyone treated like royalty. When I heard he was a captain in the company of heroes, I finally understood why. I wasn't being serious when I said I was one of them, but you went and believed me, so Look, his name was Whiskiet, alright? Whiskiet. He'll tell you how to defeat Titus, or whatever the hell's the thing's name is. That's what you wanted, ain't it? So come on, then tell the chief to forgive me, it's only fair. Fire him immediately. Sadly, I don't think that's an option. Wish it was. He didn't even acknowledge it, that's funny. Alright, let's see here. Pardon? You wish to slay the Lord of the Crags? We must slay him, Captain. The people of Limsalaments are depending upon us. Fancy yourself heroes, then, just like in the tales. Be not so quick to judge. Long have I labored for the well-being of you and yours, and my associate here has bathed in Ifrit's hellfire and lived. She is blessed with the power that protects her from primal influence. Thus was she able to lay low the Lord of the Inferno. We know full well the risks, and we have taken every possible precaution. We lack only the knowledge of how to enter Titan's lair. Pray be so good as to grant us this boon of your wisdom, and we shall be on our way. Woman who can't be tempered. Useful, but it will not be enough. It is true the company of heroes fought and felled primals, but each victory is brought with the lifeblood of brave men and women. And Titan was the worst we faced. Aye, we defeated him in the end, but he took from us some of our very best. Even if you possess the power you claim, I have no reason to believe you will succeed. Believe what you will, we mean to try. Though our lives be forfeit, we will not abandon Limsa to the wrath of Titan. You are passionate, I'll grant you that. And you deserved better than the greeting I gave you. But I will not send you into Ogomor on a whim. To be plain, I do not wish to see you give your lives in vain. At the very least, I must have assurances that you are more than common adventurers. I oversee security for Master Gigaruju's estates. Perhaps you can demonstrate your abilities by attending one of our... Ye gods, man. Have you heard of nothing I said? We have no time to perform trivial tasks. The enemy is at the gates. Do you imagine words can slay me, girl? If you dislike my conditions, you are welcome to find your own way into Ogomor. Yes, please. Let's do that. Though it pains me to admit, I fear we have no choice but to acquiesce to the man's demands. Yet much remains to be done if we are to be at best Titan. Forgive me, but I must ask you to undertake this task alone. I will use the time to see the remaining preparations. Leaving the dirty work to others, are we? Very well. Pray do whatever the good captain's bids, however trifling. Remember the fate of Limsa hangs in the balance. It is pouring out here in Costa del Sol. Master Gigaruja's request can be more demanding than you realize. Before I set you on your true task, I'd like to verify that it won't be a waste of my time. A Nyx has recently been seen prowling the beach to the east. As you can imagine, my master does not want large, slimy creatures anywhere near his lands. The beast is cunning, but you should have no difficulty luring it out with herring. Slay the Nyx and return to me. Oh, and don't forget to bring me a leg as proof of the kill. Oh, you know what would help? I didn't think about this earlier. Bring old Fuchsia out here. Why not? Why not? She'll give us some help. Wha-bam. Now what? Oh, we gotta lay and wait? Cool. Skits. Well, did you deal with the Nix? Lest you think me overly cautious for testing you in this way, you should know that we had an incident not long ago. Foolish young employee who was dismissed for lying about his past. He claimed to have served in the company of heroes, but I knew for a fact he did not. Anyway, now that pointless busy work is finished, I shall give you a challenge as befits your talents. Two highly distinguished individuals are scheduled to visit Costa del Sol in the near future. Master Gigaruju wishes to welcome them with an elaborate banquet. But while money is no object, not everything Master Gigaruju desires can be so easily purchased. It is to be an extremely exotic feast, and so, Wisteria, your mission is to seek out and obtain the rare ingredients our chef requires. Naturally, such fine dining must be accompanied by suitable wine, and by suitable I mean the very best there is. That, however, can wait for the time being, as I believe you have enough on your plate as it is. It will be a long and arduous journey, but you need not toil alone. Many of the mercenaries who once served under my command still live. They will guide you in your quest. For the first ingredient, I would have you travel to the South Shroud and speak to Landinale at Camp Tranquil. What do you mean to tell me that you cannot afford to waste time, as your associate did? Adventurer, if you have not the endurance to complete the mission, how do you expect me to believe you can outlast the Lord of the Crags? Either do it, or don't. I have work to do. Yeah, you know, it's just a funny whiskey, because the thing is, like, while we're doing this, and I understand that, you know, we could just fight and get that over with once I kick your ass and you'll know I'm good enough. But, you know, just the entire time that this is going on, you are currently letting legions of your countrymen die. That's the part I think is the most unsettling, you know, just throwing that out there. Do you require assistance, adventurer? So this is the one who would challenge Titan. I've been expecting you, Mysteria. The ingredient you seek is the egg of a giant Minotaurs. The method of acquisition should be obvious. You steal it from the beast's nest, of course. Simple in theory, but difficult in execution. Most who try it die. Well, I hope you get it. You amuse me. I will not jeopardize my position by openly assisting you. From me, you will receive only information. What you do with it is your choice. Let me be clear, this business between you, me, and the captain must remain a secret. She's looking right at you. So I don't regret my time spent with the company in the slightest. Traveling the world, meeting interesting people, killing them. It was jolly good fun. Alas, Gridanians are by and large an unforgiving lot. Detto here being a rare exception. I've had to go to great lengths to ensure that I am seen as a model citizen, with no taste for drinking, whoring, gambling, and all the other activities I so dearly miss. So understand that if you ruin my life, my little charade, by waggling your tongue, I'll fashion a noose with your entrails and hang you from the nearest heavens pillar. Well, what are you waiting for? There's a perfectly good Minotaur's egg in the nest to the east of here, just ripe for the taking. Not that I expect you to live long enough to claim it. The mother never strays far from the child, and you will surely be attacked the moment you lay hands upon the egg. There will be other heroes, Wisteria. You do not need to challenge Titan. Abandon your quest, or your corpse will rot in the swamp. Okay. Thought you might have a good sense to leave this place. By your continued presence, I take it you intend to preserve to the very end. Such bravery, such recklessness. That will serve you well against Titan. Leave the egg with me, I'll see it gets to the captain. You should make haste to southern Thanalan. Forgotten Springs, you will find a name named Udo Nun. He will be your next guide. Safe travels, Wisteria. I will say I like the name of this quest, Trial by Turtle. Funny. Yes, looking ahead, I think Titan would be a good stopping point. So after that, yeah. Quite a lot happens after that. Could potentially do both, but for right now, we'll stop at Titan, I think. We'll see. When we get to Titan, we'll see. Let's see where we're at there. Oops. State your business, adventurer. So this is the one Whiskey had sensed me. I haven't the foggiest what he sees in you, and until I do, I will receive no aid from me. But system bugger. Very well, let's have a look at you. You've seen your share of battle, there's no mistaking it. And you did manage to obtain the Adamantoise egg. However, that was not more than a display of brute force and blind courage. The nun I once fought also believed that his strength would save him. He was wrong, and now I am none. Many years I joined the Grand Company to hone my skills, instead of challenging my predecessor before I was ready. Even when I was young, I understood the victory goes to patient, the cunning, the pragmatic. That is why I claim my position. That is why I still hold it. That is why I will not help an unproven whelp. The Turtle of the Sands do not offer aid to strangers. To do so is a sign of weakness. However, if you were recognized as a skilled hunter in your own right, it would be permissible to assist you. Across the desert to the east lies an Emulger encampment. There dwells a warrior renowned for both his strength and his guile. To even face this Emulger in battle, you must first find a way to lure him away from your encampment. This will be your test. Draw out and defeat the veteran. For this, I will offer you advice. Only this worn spear. Offer you no advice. Why, you ask? You will have to solve that riddle yourself. Now go, slay this old warrior, and bring me back his necklace. Okay, I'll take the necklace. Whee! Jumping. It's a long walk. Damn it. I was zoned out there for a second. I didn't realize I was walking right in front of that guy. He should de-aggro by the time we get over here, I bet. We're gonna risk it. Okay. While it waits. back over. We're definitely going to fast travel over here. Tell me, adventurer, is our nemesis dead? It is a fine necklace, as befits a veteran of countless battles. It will make an excellent trophy. The spear belonged to one of his brothers. I knew when he spied it from afar, he would be unable to resist venturing outside the encampment to see it for himself. Did you discern my intent, or was it dumb luck, I wonder? Either way, you impress me, adventurer. I shall tell you of the ingredients you seek. A shame we did not meet when I was still with the company of heroes. You would have made a fine recruit. But no point dwelling on what cannot be. You have a Welwick worm to hunt. Sandworms slither brazenly across the desert dunes, but Welwick worms are far fewer in number. Rarity breeds demand, and so their meat is highly prized as a delicacy. Oop, skip one. The only way to catch your quarry is to entice it with something it cannot resist. These worms prey on small creatures of the Saguli. Freshly slaughtered angler carcass would be my choice bait. There is an area teeming with anglers to the east. I will mark it upon your map along with a location where the Welwick worms are more frequently sighted. Be warned, the blood will drive the worms into a feeding frenzy. If your skills are lacking, it will devour you as well. Oh my god, it's 5 o'clock already. Yeah, probably got 1 more hour of streaming in this. Interesting. Stuck on one little, like, small sand ridge. Oh, that's what I get for trying to multitask. Welwick worm territory. Throw that out there. Oh, got a lion waits. I don't recall making or purchasing this bow, but sure. We'll go with it. So I know this is supposed to be a different kind of worm, but it pretty much just looks like the regular sandworm, but maybe like, it's hard to say, maybe like slightly bigger. He's definitely bigger. What am I doing? I have to walk all the way over there on my pedestrian legs. Sit up here. Okay. You look well. Have you got your quarry then? Your skill as a hunter rivals that of our best. I applaud your success, Wisteria. The meat you need to be heavily smoked before I ship it to Biscuit. Worry not, you have my word that he will receive it in time for the banquet. You must be eager to obtain the third ingredient. I regret to say that I do not have its location. For the nonce, you should return to Costa del Sol and seek Biscuit's counsel. Ah, but hold a moment. Since you will be meeting the captain again, there is something I would like you to deliver to him for me. The captain was fond of this brandy wine. I would be grateful if he would deliver it on my behalf. I was a reckless, angry youth when I first joined the company, and he would have done well within his rights to cast me out. Everything I have I owe to his wisdom and generosity. Aye, Whiskey was a firm yet fair teacher, an expert molder of men, and I respect that is still the case now. Please give him my regards, Rosteria. I love cat people in video games. Random thing to say. But like, what's it called? Skyrim? Love them. They're great. Well met, Mysteria. Lendel and Uldanana spoke highly of you. What brings you here today? The implication being that multiple days have passed where he's okay with a Titan just wreaking havoc on his countryside. Ah, my favorite. I shall have to thank the nun personally. Now you have but one ingredient left. Fortunately, you will not have to travel to Aldenard this time to obtain it. The infamous cheese. Truth be told, I was never intended for you to collect this last ingredient. Brayflox, my old quartermaster, wished to bring it to Costa del Sol herself. However, not long ago, she sent word that there's been some trouble at the Long Stop, and that the delivery would be delayed indefinitely. She told me nothing of the incident itself, but I fear the situation may be dire. Though I would like nothing more than to aid her myself, I have no choice but to turn to you and your allies. Make haste to Hidden Falls docks and speak with the Ozun Nazum. He would direct you to the Raincatcher Gully, where Brayflox and her people have made their home. There, I could just teleport to Aleport, but can't do that until I talk to the ferry guy. Travelers. I've got to get some more caffeine in me for this dungeon. As soon as we queue the dungeon, I'll probably step out real quick, grab a Dr. Pepper. What's the hurry, Ventura? Aye, something happened over the Gobi settlements. I don't know why you're so eager to help a bunch of beastmen. But go and talk to the skipper over yonder. She'll ferry you to the Raincatcher Gully. It's almost like I could have just done this the whole time. Crazy, I know, huh? I'm just gonna teleport in front of you. Really want to drive home the redundancy of your trade. There you go. Yep, definitely gonna need that caffeine. Occasionally I'll do that. I don't tend to sleep much, but I also don't like to go to sleep. I have situations where I'll just find myself running into a wall. Eyes have been closed for God knows how long. Yeah, my wife makes fun of me. Often, and not just for that, but in general. Okay. Brayflox, all talks. Tongue flaps of whiskey it be reaching ears of Brayflox. Uplander's comfort, tasty, fresh Gobi treats, yes. Quest prize of Uplander deep in Longstop. Flighty beast chase Gobi flock from home. Gobiflock needs goodly uplander give safely to Longstop with much hand lending. Okay, so I'm gonna queue this up real quick. First, make sure. Yep. Okay. Oh, I'm going to unqueue this up. Well, you know what? We'll leave it on DPS, and I'll be right back. And if it hasn't queued, which it won't, in the like 2 minutes it's gonna take me to get Dr. Pepper and an ice cream, I will re-queue it as a healer because we are not waiting 14 minutes. I'll be right back. Alright, feel better with little Dr. Pepper. Little Dr. Pepper. And I have decided we probably will stay queued up for this for a little while longer. Because it went down to 9 minutes, of which we're 2 in the hole. So, we'll just go ahead and do a little bit of what we were doing last time. Just kind of hang out with some gathering. And hopefully we get there. Mostly Shroud. Super inefficient. We're gonna go grab these two first. I'm just sick of seeing these two little niggly ones right here. Central Shroud. Nope, sorry, Central Peddling. And Harvest. For whatever reason, I guess it must be the server tech. Sometimes this does not turn on. Strongly recommend having that on anytime you're gathering, just in case you get something interesting. Oh. Let me do that. Oh, we actually won that roll. Little cheeky Tomberry. Huh. Go for some Napoli's real quick. Interesting. Actually, the Monopolies don't have a purchase price. They are good for exactly one recipe. Let's see. And that requires only one of them. So basically what that means, travelers, is that I will only require in the entirety of the game exactly one Napolis. Technically, we could double check, but let's double check real quick. Yep, only one. So I have one more Napolis than I will ever require ever. Oh. Seven Southern Thanolin. Loads of stuff in Eastern Thanolin. Okay, here's one. Black pepper seeds. It's actually really close to where we are. I remember trying to get these earlier today before I went to work, and I just had no luck. I probably harvested 50 bushes and nothing. And it'll be like that. Like I said, once we get that unlocked, that'll be a lot easier. And hopefully we can do a bonus stream sometime this week where we get caught up on our... mostly for the story purposes, because it won't unlock anything like especially cool. But we can do that. That way we can get caught up on everything. It'll be nice. Yeah. This is over there, black pepper. Nothing to harvest. Again, if I'm on lower level harvest, I always just completely ignore stuff that has a purchase price, because that means if I need it, I can just buy it for pretty cheap. So I focus on things that don't have one, that might be a pain in the ass later. Generally a good idea. What we're looking for is black pepper seeds. We're now in a race against time to see if the queue pops before that does. Interesting. Cactuar. A cactuar. Ooh, that's actually not what we were looking for, but I will take it. Like lots of these. I need to brush up on gardening, because I would love to have a garden plot for us at the new house. I know you can get Thavnarian onions, although I do not recall exactly how. And we will require those, so that would be kind of cool. And I know that you can generally, like, get any... I mean, it's fairly straightforward, obviously, but anything you can plant a seed, you can get more of that thing. But I've got a lot of these, like, various aspected elemental seeds. I don't know if those are going to give me shards, or if they're in some way going to do something cool. But I know we can and will be getting a garden plot, so we'll see. Might do a little experimentation. One of the things that's kind of cool about being sort of landlocked, I mean, it's moderately irritating, I guess, but not like crazy. One of the things that's kind of cool about being landlocked into the ARR content is that I only have these ingredients to work with. So, like, I would not, if I were just able to rush right through, I probably wouldn't be like, oh, I'll just complete the level 50, up to level 50 gathering log. I would have just kept going, right? There was no reason to stop and do what I'm doing now. But, because I'm landlocked here, it's like, oh, well, you know, I can't progress the main story without the stream. I don't want to stream for, like, 30 minutes to an hour that I have after a really long day of work or before work, right? Or when I'm just hanging out with my wife and here we're just talking. So I don't want to do that, but what can I do? Oh, I can gather a little bit. Cool, I'll do that. So, fun times for that. Am I in the right spot? I am. We just keep getting possibly lucky and getting these 11 light seeds. I don't know if these are good. I know they're a seed that I can harvest more than one of, which is pretty unusual, to be honest. Usually it's like a one-off. Like, you harvest it once, and it's like, nope, no more seed for you. No seed for you! So those are unique. The 11 light, ice light, fire light, and aqua light seeds. I don't know, I got a lot of seeds. Again, gonna have to do a whole brush up on gardening. Probably do some research on the wiki. Then I might put out my own guide. Who knows? It'll be fun. One of the things I think is kind of interesting about trying to make YouTube content for me is that I'm trying to stay focused. I've tried this before, full disclosure. And I think lack of focus and too broad of an interest group polling is part of the reasons why it didn't do super well. That's my speculation. But I also have problems in that, like, I'm not a very focused person. So when I talk about doing guides, I'm like, yeah, that'll be fun. I'm like, that's sort of in the genre of this content. I don't know if I would listen to a guide written by me. So we'll have to see how well that does. I also don't think I have a very good voice for content in general, but certainly not for guides. This is not a voice that inspires confidence. Just throwing that out there. Well, what you got to do here is you got to plant your seeds and then put it in the soil. Duh. I'm going to do the guide just like that. That exact voice. So look forward to that coming up. Oh my god, I got excited because I saw seeds. Wrong seeds. And this is nice because, like I said, it's something to do while we're waiting for that queue to pop. We'll wait till the 15-minute queue point. At that point, we'll swap. I don't want to do this forever, but... Hey! Nice, nice. I don't know if you guys have seen what I've been doing also, but I do strongly advise, like, once you have the thing, don't just close it out. It's a waste. Get shards. You will never not need them. But you will always need them if you're crafting. If you don't, sell them. They don't sell for, like, you know, an absurd amount of money, but they sell for something. So sell them. No reason not to do that. Could strongly recommend. Alright, it's looking like Eastern Thanolins are best bet up here. Yep. Papatos. Let's see. Yep. Two of them. We have Sandgates and whatever this other area is over here. Yeah, Sandgate and Drybone. It's right here. Cool. Oh. Pretty much perfect timing. Just before we got into another extended out gathering session. And now we get to play this as an archer, which will be a little bit more exciting. I did not read the lore out for this. I probably should have done. Spoiler alert, there is not much. Yeah, we'll go through it a little bit, but yeah, it's a home of goblins. It's being invaded by this sort of hostile species. You can guess which one. He just stomped right by. We have to save it. That's... Get the cheese. That's pretty much it. Kill dragon, get cheese. That's the dungeon. Again, and they do so much better about this later. That's the thing. And I feel like, for me, I don't remember it being that. I do remember skimming through a lot more of this dialogue than I did anywhere else in the game. But it didn't put me off the game entirely, but I do remember it lowering the stakes significantly for me in a way that I did not appreciate at the time and still don't. I feel like this is a mistake. The one that they have yet to fix adequately. But maybe someday. Okay. Oh, 2 bards. It's not a very common class. What are the odds of that? The Great Yellow Pelican. I don't know why that seemed like it should have all caps. The Great Yellow Pelican. This other bard is not using any of their dots. They use their song, though. Oh, there they go. I put mine on, they remembered. I don't know why he did that. I was like, oh, cool, we can run right by this guy. He was like, no, not today. Ooh, healer pool. Interesting. That is generally frowned upon, although for all I know, they're talking. But as a healer main, and it'll happen occasionally accidentally, just to be clear, like it does happen even if you're trying real hard to avoid it. But typically if the tank is not comfortable enough to pull, don't pull for them, right? If they were comfortable enough to pull, they probably would have done so already. So it's considered bad form. Hey, River's out this time. We just let that goblin up there die. I don't think I've ever been with a party who didn't go up there. Also, I don't think I've ever been with a party that like actually tried to kill the little ag guy there. I'm not sure if there's a reason. Could be. Oh, so I know I said that this was more interesting than whatchamacallit, healing, and it is, but it is still, it's proc based, a little bit more going on. I have a few more buttons, but the basics of the class for Bard, at least at this very low level, are shoot, hit a proc, shoot, hit a proc, dot every 45 seconds. That's pretty much it. But Bard does become a little bit more interesting a little later on, so if you find yourself not immediately falling in love with it, if you give it a little bit more time, it might surprise you. Well, they just full-on took off without me. This is a really interesting boss, for all that I was kind of shitting on the lore. Not so much because of the lore, but just because he's going to do something interesting here. Or I suppose something interesting will happen here. Some more accurate way of putting that. So that Peculiar Light spell, you can get it a couple of different ways. Good blue mage spell. He's a good source of it. Especially if you come in here to unsynced. Mine appeared to have been bubbled. Bubble, bubble! Shout out to Polly Shore. Yup. That's exactly what I was talking about. So yeah, Aetor, the dragon, comes in and eats this little dude. And he's off. That's, we're technically still in combat, so that does nothing. Really? Have that for 2 whole seconds. Y'all are getting it. Yeah. I'm going to double back real quick there, but I'll just do that after the dungeon. It's that one little section right there. And then if I'm very lucky, I'll never do this dungeon ever again. The dungeon itself is not that bad mechanically. I do think it is an interesting point in the game design history of the game. Because this dungeon is probably, to this point, the most refined dungeon that we see. It is the most like the standard sort of set of expectations that we have going into dungeons after this. So it did kind of, in a way, set the tone for what dungeons are later to be. So... although they have reworked it since then. There you go. Easy dungeon. Interesting side point there, too. I think that's the first, like, actual dragon you ever fight. Not the last, but I'm pretty sure it is the first. Oh, I got Barrage! Yes! Barrage is one of the coolest spells in the game. It's one of the coolest actions in the game. Big fan. So what Barrage does is just whatever you're doing. So straight shot, wide volley, makes it 3. And I think if it doesn't now, it does at least later. Proc the ability to just be ready for it already. Straight shot, MSQ straight shot will strike. Slices it, yeah. Might be a thing that you unlock later in traits. Quick Mastery, Enhanced Bloodletter. I know it's it. There we go. Yes. So it's like level 96. But at level 96, whenever you do it, you'll become ready to actually use it. So it synergizes obviously very well. Oh, damn it all. Hang on, guys. There's an area of the swamp we didn't go to. So, there's one little section of swamp that's not being explored. Will drive me nuts. And we should be able to just leave from here, yeah. We've been incurred in following cases. I don't want to abandon the duty. I completed the duty. I certainly don't want to do this again. Ta-da! Show you guys a little trick then. Why not? So that'll put you to the beginning of the dungeon. And then, of course, once you die, you'll have a little shortcut here. But, anything I put on? Oh, I did! Look at that! New bow. I think some new pants, too. That bow's quite nice at this level. Yeah, it's nothing fancy, but it's nice. Cool. Alright, talk to Brayfox. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to like fly all the way over there again. Well, not fly, but walk. It just leaves, yeah. We'll say that Dr. Pepper is working. I got more pep in my step. More pep in my step, travelers. Watching my wife decorate her brand new medium house. Okay. All the way back out here. Appreciate you, Blairflox, for being annoying at literally every step of the way. Psh, Gordly Uplander has thanks of Gobbyflock. Flighty Beast was tricksy foe, but Uplander outwitted with plans making. Uplander has goody heart, goody head for fighty think. Blairflox happy gives tasty fresh gobby trees to clever Uplander. Choose stinky sweet gobby treat. Special make with secret gobby treats. No party complete without Gobby Gouda. Brave flocks ever say. Gobby Gouda. Okay, this way. I will say the quest, the things we do for cheese. Very good name. And read this. After a tiring journey across Eorzea, it is deep within the quiet jungles of Raincatcher Gully, where the charismatic and enterprising young goblin, Brayflox All Talks, chose to build her tiny empire. What she does not realize, however, is that something else, something sinister, has also made the lush forest its home. Now driven from their rightful claim, Brayflox and her brethren seek to retake the land, and are not above asking help of lesser races, that would be you, to help them do so. I appreciate knowing where we stand. Real quick also, because I noticed when we were in that combat that this needs to go up. We'll see that and see if that helps, but it might need to be higher. Anyway. Since I gather you saw Brayflox's little problem. Uh-huh. By the gods, that unholy stench. This is, definitely goblin cheese. Judging from the smell, this will be quite flavorful. How is it made? I expect you remain ignorant of such things. I still remember when I learned what kind of milk they use. Shudder. Bravo, Wisteria. Thanks to you, our guest shall be honored with a marvelous banquet. But what good is an exotic feast without an equally exquisite apteritif? Luckily, I know just such a person. Make your way to Wineport and seek out Shimoni Lamoni, another former member of the company. All you have to do is give him this order slip. He'll take care of the rest. Oh, and if you're wondering if this is merely a ploy to test your patience, I assure you I do actually need that wine. And while you're there, give Shimoni Lamoni my regards. Not that many. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, we're getting there. We're getting there, travelers. Just a couple more random acts of nonsense. We'll be there. Sweet grime and blood. Aye, Eureka blood. An adventurer, unless I'm mistaken, brings you to the Wineport. An order, let me guess. A quest from the finest vintage I can muster. Sniper smells of loam and perfume. Costa del Sol. And there is also a unmistakable odor of goblin cheese. Yes, Master Gigoruju would settle for nothing, not settle for anything less than the best. Dresswitz and his crew must be quite busy preparing an exotic feast. Hence his decision to rely on an adventurer. Ah, but perhaps you are confused. The display of deduction was not intended to impress you. When one loses his vision, he is forced to compensate in other ways. But you've no interest in my affairs. You wish only to discuss the wine, I suspect. Life can be so delightfully unpredictable. I always had a passion for wine, but it wasn't until I was forced to retire that I could pursue it as more than a mere hobby. It wouldn't have been possible if not for the savings I amassed during my time as a mercenary, of course. Say what you will about the nature of work, none can deny that it pays well. But you grow impatient, and whiskey must have his wine. Herein lies the problem. Nothing in my possession is of sufficient quality for his occasion. The best vintages in town are hoarded by Braglaint, who owns and operates the largest winery in Vildebrand. Somehow I doubt he will be receptive to your request, but given these circumstances, he must needs beg his assistance. Okay. This here big house over here, yeah. On one hand, I'll try to drink cherry pepper. There we go. What rank amateur bottled this wine? The impurities have rendered it nigh undrinkable. This missile is too good for the man responsible. He should be made to drink every drop of his polluted swill. I promise it's not just the mustache. I had forgotten that he had this mustache when I gave him that accent. But it is also now certainly also the mustache. What is it? I am in the middle of an important discussion, and I do not care for interruptions. That neophyte Venter bid you speak to me? Ha! Neither you nor your friend has the palate to appreciate the subtle qualities of my private stock. I would sooner serve you Gobo urine than sell you my worst vintage. Be gone from my sight! Well. Isn't he just lovely? Okay, both hands now. I take it he said no. Really, in those words? Well, I cannot say that I am unsurprised. While there's no denying his passion and skill, the wine baron of Limsa Laminsa is not a man known for his tact. Very well, we shall have to take an alternative approach. Steal it. There's a chance, however small, that another resident of Wineport can furnish us with suitable wine. In fact, had you come several years ago, I guarantee this would not be a problem. Alas, the quality of our product has declined significantly in recent years. The only breeds cultivated these days are common lowland vines, which isn't to say that their grapes are of poor quality, only that we have known better. Long ago, the Vigorons of Wineport crossbred several species, and produced a grape-bearing vine of never-before-seen quality. Bacchus grapes were once the pride of this town, as they were used to produce vintages which surpassed all others. This includes the most aromatic, the most complex, the most flavorful of all wines. Aye, the legendary Bacchus wines were born right here in Wineport. Pardon my enthusiasm. You see, I once had the privilege to sample that particular wine. It was an otherworldly experience. In that moment I felt as though I had tasted the nectar of the gods themselves. I transcended my mortal flesh and was one with all of creation. But as it is all too often said, calamity changed that. The Bacchus vineyards were completely destroyed, along with much of the existing stock of Bacchus wine. What little remains is closely guarded by its owner, for it can no longer be made. If we cannot convince Brigilin to part with his own wine, our next best option, as ridiculous as it sounds, is to find someone who has the bottle of Bacchus wine and offer to sell every gill we can spare. I've heard rumors that one of the Vigaroons... What is going on?
I'm so
coming.
sorry.
Oh. Sorry, that may or may not result in copyright infringement, we'll see. We cannot convince Bragolon to part with his wine. Our next best option, as ridiculous as it sounds, is to find someone who has a bottle of Bacchus wine and offer to sell them every gill we can spare. I've heard rumors that one of the Vignerons tended the wine might have once owned a bottle. Perhaps you could start by speaking with them? I think I remember this quest line partially, and it involves a lot that has nothing to do with wine, if I recall. Which, you know, it sounds like it might be off topic, being as, of course, we are, you know, adventurers of wine, not adventurers of light, destined to slay Titan. No, right now, it's all about that wine. We've got the cheese already. Gotta get the wine. What do you think we are, adventurers wanting to fight? Crazy. What? Do I have Bacchus wine? I wish. Never had the chance to try it myself. Sorry, friend, but you're a few years too late. Did I? Oh my god, I went all the way up there just to do the exact same thing. Let's see. I feel like this is on, like, the roof or something. Behind? Underneath. It's somewhere. Oh, here he is. You can see him in the field here. Yeah, there we go. Bacchus wine? Oh, don't remind me. Used to have a cellar filled with the stuff. Though I could keep the wine safe from the thieves and the elements, never counted on a bloody primal blowing up my goddamn house. Oh, poor guy. As a recent homeowner, I can relate, small Lullafell. No luck. Most regrettable, but we had to try. Ah, but Bacchus wine would have been the perfect occasion. Though I must confess, my certitude could be due to part of my personal history of the beverage. It is, after all, the very reason I decided to become a vintner. After Titan blinded me in the battle beneath Ogomora, I fell into a deep depression. It was until I tasted Bacchus wine for the first time that I realized that there was still so much I could experience, even in my condition. It helped me to find a new direction in life. Breaks my heart to think that the wondrous ambrosia which once filled me with hope may be forever lost to us. I must say, this talk of Bacchus wine has made me rather nostalgic. Indeed, there is much I miss about my life in the company of heroes. After everything the captain has done, I could not bear to disappoint him. I have no fear. I swear that I shall find a suitable wine for the banquet, though I may need some time to think of the solution. In the meantime, there's a favor I would ask of you. 2 years ago, in the deepest depths of my despair, I stumbled across Wildbrand as a vagabond drunk. I suspect I was looking for a place to die, because I had nearly found one not too far from here. It was there I met a man named Drest, who took me in and nursed me back to health. It was he who gave me my first taste of Bacchus wine, which helped me find my new calling. Though I am still a novice in the arts of winemaking, I would like to like him to know that I am pursuing my dream. This wine... Pardon? Where did it go? This wine is my own original creation, and I would be most grateful if you would deliver it to him in my stead. Dress sometimes works with the ring-catcher Gully docks, so perhaps Riskelite can tell you where to find him. That's an interesting name. Presumably a Rogadan. Rogadans do traditionally have the weirdest of names, we'll say. Okay, Ritz Skillet. Ritz Skillet, that's probably his name. Dressed. Oh, you mean the hermit? I toss him a few gil when we need an extra pair of hands. Doesn't talk about himself, and I'm sure as hells don't ask. When a man's got a face with scars like that, you best leave well enough alone, I say. If you have in mind to find him, though, then head southwest to the 7th string. I don't remember where, but I know after this questline, you do get more context, I think, from Dressed. Or who he is. It might be the Bard questline, as a matter of fact. But I feel like there is a questline that intersects with his. So. Nope. Forgot these guys are, like, closer to me to levels. I can't just run by them and expect them not to annoy me. That's right, though. Just gotta dodge them. Juking and vibing. As the kids would say. Go boo ass. Okay, here we go. What do you want? Wine, I didn't ask for this. Who sent you? I can't sleep. They won't let me sleep. The midges, the buzzing, keeps me awake. Never wanted to hurt anyone. I won't fight. I don't want to fight. Please make the buzzing stop. Make the midges go away. Yeah, I think it might be the Bard questline, because I seem to recall he has PTSD here. I mean, it's never like, oh, he has PTSD, but it's pretty clear that that's what he's sort of afflicted with at the moment. I feel like I vaguely remember hearing or reading or even experiencing that that's what the Bard questline is about. Whenever I'm intentionally vague like that, it is usually just because I have a really bad memory. I promise I'm not being deliberately cagey. I just have a terrible memory. Just keep that in mind. That's not me trying to be cute, like, oh, I don't know, I missed the Bard questline. Just don't remember. I mean, I probably did the Bard questline 10 years ago, so. I'm excited to do it more, though. I've got the one song so far. I want to go learn from the Bard in the woods. Yeah, let's stay the fuck away from that Deathclaw thing over there. Pretty sure it can one-shot me. What's this? Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting him to be hostile. Most Gobu are non-hostile. My whole life flashed before my eyes. I thought it was the claw. I probably need some more gear, honestly, on this if we're going to be questing, like, to kill Titan with this outfit. I might have to queue it as a healer anyway, though, to be honest, just because, yeah. Yeah, probably a good idea. It's not so loud anymore. Did you do that? Thank you. You helped me, even after what my comrades and I did to your country. Oh, he's Garlean. Interesting. We were on a reconnaissance mission when the Maelstrom caught us by surprise. We tried to escape, but the others, no one else survived. I didn't ask for this, damn it. I'm not even Garlean. They conquered my lands just like they conquered yours. I don't want to die in some blasted jungle halfway around the world. I just want to go home. He's Alamegan. Okay, that makes sense. Small for an Alamegan, though, I will say. I wish to thank Shimoni for the wine. That was overly kind. Would you be willing to bear a gift back to him? Earlier today at Red Mantis Falls, I collected the sap from nearby palm trees. If I placed it in coconut shells and stored it a few bells' time, it makes for a fine wine, see? It should be ready by now. I left 3 shells out there. Please take them to Shimoni for me. I'm glad he's moved on with his life. I hope to one day do the same. This is a good cutscene. Tis good indeed. Real quick, though. Real quick, like. There's so many settings, I just don't know which one we're going to want here. There we go. Play musical melody. That's the one. Okay, so that should play the music of the area rather than the mount music. I tend to prefer that generally. One thing, there's no fade in, fade out, but it also just, I don't know. When you're in a new area, it's kind of nice to hear the music for the first time. I will say, and it is certainly not an exclusive idea to me, but the music of this game is incredible. So... second here. Deliver the palm wine to Shimoni Lamoni. Shamani Lamamani. Hopefully this is the last of this quest line for a minute. That would be great. It's been some time with Studio. What news do you have of Drest? Oh yes, I recall he did have some knowledge of winemaking. Simplistic but nevertheless effective method to utilize the natural properties of palm sap. I shall have to enjoy this batch before it spoils. We are not so different, Drest and I. Two men who have long struggled not to let our scars define us. I worry that he has been alone with his thoughts for far too long. It is past time I paid him a visit. Thank you for looking in on him, Wisteria. By the gods, Wisteria, listen. I know you're eager to wash your hands of this wine business, but I've just discovered something extraordinary about Drest's palm wine. He sealed each coconut shell with a leaf. A leaf which has a very distinct shape and unusual odor. I thought I was going mad at first, but now I'm certain. These are the leaves of Bacchus grapevine. Do you know what this means? Somewhere in Rangecatcher's Gully, the legendary vine still grows. If we could go about a cutting, we could revive the wine industry. We must know where Drest found these leaves. Here, take one of them back to him and see what he remembers. Yeah, we almost got out of that. I was like, cool, I gave him the wine. Can I just take one of these coconuts and just head on about my business? Nope. Couldn't be that simple, travelers. That being said, I'm looking right now, and we only have a couple of quests before Titan, so like I said, should be a really good endpoint. Decent in here? Not really, no. What level is this quest? 33? I mean, we've done loads, which is good. Yeah, we've knocked out a huge chunk of quests, so pretty happy today overall with progress. We'll have Thursday, and then I think sometime we might even beat ARR sometime next week. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Then we'll have to settle in for the long haul with the patch content, but if we're very lucky and very quick, we might be able to cover a patch a day. That would be 5 days. We could get back on track here. Oh, hello again. What is it? It's just a leaf, isn't it? Only chose it because it was pretty. Didn't know it was rare. Found them near the Juggernaut to the south, but I didn't see any grapevines. Saw fresh gobu tracks, though. Maybe the leaves came from the vines growing on the backs of one of such beasts. If you go looking for it, please be careful. Some gobus are more territorial than others, and you may have to defend yourself. He's very kind dressed. Shezamu. Alright, that's an incredible name. Shezamu. I feel like he needs subtitles, like Shezamu, the Devourer, or something. I don't know. What does Dress have to say, Wisteria? Tell me everything. Haha, I was right. This smell, this texture. I hold in my hands a Bacchus grapevine cutting. Come now, enough of this nonsense. Oh, excuse me. Come now, enough of this nonsense. I have heard talk of your discovery, and I refuse to believe that a common adventurer and a novice vintner could... 12's as a witness. It is a Bacchus grapevine. Where did you find this fantastic specimen? What, would you offer this to me? But why? There is none better positioned to reconstruct the Bacchus vineyards than you, Master Bragalond. You have the resources, the knowledge, and the passion to do so. It would be selfish of me to keep this cutting. I never knew you cared so deeply about your craft. Thank you, good sir. I will not squander this gift. In just a few years, I swear that every tavern across Eorzea will once again be clamoring for casks of Wineport's favorite legendary Bacchus wine. Sir, you needn't... Wait, the shape of this bottle. This is the label. This couldn't possibly be. A 1547 Bacchus? But that's impossible. This vintage has not been seen since years before the calamity. It was the crown jewel of my personal collection. For years I debated opening it, wondering if today or tomorrow would be the ideal time. But now I realize that it was never meant for me. It should be savored by the saviors of Wineport, I say. He has made us an offer we cannot refuse. Master Eorzea will find no finer wine. You have forever changed Wineport, Wisteria. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity. But do not permit me to delay you any longer. Pray deliver the wine to Captain Whiskeyhead. Well, yes, I would very much like to drink it, but I am a patient man. I have faith that one day I shall have another opportunity to taste perfection. Your prolonged absence is beginning to concern me. So what of the wine I asked you to bring? Is that 7 hells 1547 Bacchus? Even I know how rare it is. I have to admit I didn't think you had it in you, but congratulations, Wisteria. Thanks to you, this will be the most luxurious feast Costa del Sol has seen in years. Considering the lengths you went to, I hope our guests appreciate it. Speaking of which, your associate arrived a short while ago. She appears to be growing somewhat impatient. Perhaps you could tell her that the banquet is about to begin? I just know she was sitting there, I'm not gonna lie. You have the look of a woman who has been through the 7th hell and back. The guest should be expected to supply the victuals for a banquet held in her own honor, and this while the shadow of Titan looms over us all. Beggars belief. I can only applaud your stoicism. Had I been asked to endure such ignominy, I fear I should have accepted my lot with less grace. Oh, that fish is amazing. Lady Estola, Lady Willowheart. That was incredible. 1,000 pardons for this extreme discourtesy. I am wholly unaware of your true identity, madam. Had I known, I would never have permitted my man to subject you to such unspeakable ordeals. Come now, she must have sensed something was amiss. You didn't seriously think that we would send you running the length and breadth of Eorzea for a banquet, did you? Spare her your mockery, Captain. Your intent was unclear to me until this moment, and unlike me, Wisteria had no knowledge of your traditions. Mayhap you would be so good as to enlighten her? Aye, aye, fair is fair. There's no sense in hiding it any longer. We 5 were chosen by our brothers and sisters. Before the company of heroes disbanded, we each swore a solemn oath. That any who would follow our footsteps must be weighed and measured, not by reputation, but by their deeds. Each man would be judged, would judge these would-be godslayers by his own criteria. If even one of them found her wanting, she would be rejected without a second thought. But she has proven herself worthy. We swore that we would do our utmost to support her cause. The world has ever been full of brave souls eager to give their lives for a righteous cause, but all too few capable of making a difference with their sacrifice. To send wave after wave of hapless adventure into the jaws of a foe against whom they have no hope of victory is worse than futile. Titan is not one who will be challenged lightly, and we will not be complicit in the deaths of the unworthy. Which is why the 5 of you deigned to test Wisteria with such commendable thoroughness. Time well spent, I am sure, but tell us, Captain, what is the assessment of you and your fellows? She's a brave one, that much is certain. She's willingly walked into the midst of danger, despite my repeated warnings that it could cost her life. Her skill is undeniable. She stalked her prey as relentless as any child of the sands, and struck with precision when an opportunity presented itself. Too many adventurers these days only care for fortune and glory. Wisteria, however, is a kind and generous soul. I am certain she has no shortage of loyal allies who will gladly fight at her side. Wily Uplander is talentful plansmaker, tricksy foe for a mighty rockman. I can only concur with my colleagues' assessments. We 5 of the Company of Heroes hereby judge you worthy challenger. Cast down the load of crags, Wisteria, and write a new chapter in the history of Eorzea. And thus concludes the worst chapter of the ARR storyline. With the formalities out of the way, let the festivities begin. Summon the dancers, pour the wine, eat, drink, and be merry, my friends, for today we celebrate the birth of a new legend, Wisteria Willowheart, Titan's Bane. Would like to point out that untold countless Lamosan conscripts and military are currently fighting Titan and his goblins, and dying so that we can enjoy cheese. It's been a PSA from Captain Obvious. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, sweetling. Now relax and enjoy the show. It's only just begun. He looks very pleased with himself. Where is the... There it is. Okay, I don't usually read the black text, but this was pretty funny. Tasting the exotic feast triggers a divine revelation. In that brief, transcendent moment, you glimpse the true form of reality, comprehend its fleeting nature, and cry out to the heavens in celebration. Sounds just like my honeymoon. When you face a load of crags, think not of glimpse of the Mensa, Eorzea, or anything beyond his chamber. Think only of the men and women by your side. Fight for them and they will fight for you. Remember that no great victory was ever achieved alone. Goodly Uplander must be facing mighty rockmen with clever fighty think. Gobbly Flock cannot be coming to rescue this time. Wisteria, you brave fool. Promise me that when you meet Titan, you'll look him in the eye and tell him Lendiel sends his regards. Yeah, it'll work. And then we go over here. I like this. This guy's my favorite. You are a veteran of countless battles, Wisteria. This is but one. Trust in your experience and you will prevail. You are blessed with the fortitude to rival the earth itself. Titan will struggle to break you, I think. You are kind to indulge them, Wisteria. This banquet is as much for the company as it is for you, whatever they may claim. I didn't deny that they meant well, but now is scarcely the time for celebration. Though they have all but pronounced you a victor, the battle with Titan has yet to begin. The hour has come for the good captain to make good on his promise. We must speak with him again. You must be eager to face Titan. As promised, we will show you the way. Travel to Bronze Lake in Upper Leonosia. There you will meet Ryul, another man who once served with the company. To ensure that this knowledge does not fall into the wrong hands, he will remain in hiding until you have given the correct signal. Give me your map. You must whistle loudly at 3 locations I mark. Only then will he appear to meet you at the 4th location. I realize this may seem excessive, but you will see that it is more than reasonable once you comprehend the risks inherent in our method. Yeah, I didn't figure that anything you did would be reasonable there, sir. But you can taste the beak of my chocobo in your face. How about that? How about that, though? How do I get up there? So, staircase was right behind me. I knew that. I was just testing everybody else. Greetings, lass. Might you be the one the captain said would come calling? Aye, I thought so. Pay attention now, because I ain't explained myself twice. I just love that, just talking about shafts. Years ago, when we was weighing up how to get to Titan, one of our scouts stumbled across this beastman aetheryte, see? Aye? What's that look for? Not familiar with him? He speaks of an unamplified aetheryte which has been claimed by a beast tribe. Lest you wonder, this is no fundamental difference between such aetherites and those which we have used countless occasions with Wisteria. Aye, well if it ain't the Charlayan lass, welcome back. Forgive me for interrupting. I planned to await your report, but I succumbed to curiosity. The tunnels beneath Ogamora form a bewildering labyrinth that no outsider has ever fully explored. How the company of heroes managed to navigate this mystery I have long pondered. Give us a bit of credit, love. We weren't daft enough to go trying in the front. The kobolds are always digging new tunnels and filling the old ones with traps. One wrong step, the next thing you know you've got hundreds of tons of rocks on your noggin. Suicide even try, see? Funny thing was, the kobolds didn't seem to have no trouble finding their way around, and it was that got us to thinking. I mean, Ogamora mines are like a bleeding city, ain't they? And getting around this city that big would be a right pain in the arse if you didn't have an aetheryte, wouldn't it? So it stood to reasons the kobolds must have one, didn't it? Even if there were aetheryte shards in the depths of Ogamora, you would have needed to attune yourself to them before you could identify the signatures within the life stream. Ah, well, that's where you're wrong, love. We had this Charlatan bloke to help, see? Delivered us right to Titan's bedchamber, he did. I don't really know how he did it, but I do remember him saying it weren't nothing any Charlatan scholar worth her salt couldn't manage. Did he now? Locating a beacon in the absence of a known signature might be possible if the Aetherites in question had happened to be. Ah, yes, but in order to guide a traveler safely to a beacon, a second party would be required to. It is possible, in theory at least, yet I cannot be certain until I try. Plainly, all will depend upon whether or not I am worth my salt. Ah, you are, lass. Don't you worry about that. Have a bit of faith in yourself. Why don't we all go to Zelma's Run and take a closer look at that Aetherite? It ain't far, though there's sure to be a few kobolds blocking the way. Not you can't handle, mind. We are on Titan's doorstep. Knock, knock, knocking on Titan's door. So at this point we could unlock Army's Payon. Oh, we don't even get Wanderer's Minuets until, that's interesting. I don't remember a whole lot about this job, but I do remember that's like the single target DPS one. Mage's Ballad apparently does some pretty good damage, and then the other one, I don't think it's called Army's Payon, it's something else. That one is, I mean, you use it because you kind of have to, but it doesn't do a whole lot. So maybe recall it makes your auto attacks faster or something like that. Now, let's see. Just while we're here. It is Army's Payon, okay. Increasing the direct hit rates. Oh, they changed it to also do the thing that Mage's Ballad does. Interesting. So this is the Aether of the Company of Heroes used to gain access to Titan's Sanctuary. This is Papalimos speculated. In its present state, this Aetherite signal will not be strong enough for our purposes. I may, however, be able to use my own energies to amplify it. Alas, the task will monopolize my attention for the duration. It seems you will have to proceed without me, Wisteria. I must needs remain here and supplement this beacon's power, lest you be denied your only path of escape. Fear not, I will summon the Maelstrom forces stationed nearby to protect us. With effort, it is possible that I may be able to stabilize the Aether's signal and thereby join you, albeit belatedly. Until such a time as I do, you will be on your own. Now, let us see if I am worth my salt. She really latched onto that phrase. I have located another beacon, one far below the mountain. Can only speculate as to what you will find there, so stint not in your preparation. Okay, that'll be Titan, which, as we said, is going to be an excellent way to end off the day. Let's try... I want to enter it with low-level stuff. So let's try with... Dragoon. 6-minute queue time. Yeah. No offense to Dragoon, but I'd rather an instant queue time, or nearly. Just to get it out the way. While we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and go unlock this thing that I've been talking about doing for like 60 years now. Get that out the way. Might as well. Like I said, though, we made some amazing progress. Let's reflect on that while we're waiting to fly out that way. So, let's see. Where did we started? That was a fall ground float. So far back, I think is this one? Nope. That was this one. Okay. So yeah, this one right here, Terror at Fall Ground. Look at how many we've done since then. Loads. Loads and loads. So we're getting pretty close to the end game. I mean, Titan, I guess minor spoilers. There are 3 primary primal fights. Titan is the second. We're on that. The next one happens relatively quickly, if I recall, in the storyline, so we don't have much to wait beyond that. But anyway, let's go ahead and queue up for this here. I'm so sorry, but I must insist you... Oh, an adventurer, and a rather seasoned-looking one besides. On in the off chance you're simply here to gawp, perhaps you can lend us a hand? You see, despite the fervent protestations of these dusk rites over here, we cannot permit civilians within these ruins at this time. Capable men and women like you, on the other hand, are more than welcome, that is, if you've got the stones for it. Pray seek out the other station at Quartermill. They can apprise you of the details. Yeah. Makes sense. Talk here, talk there. Well, bam. Oh, that's a super cute Olafel. Well met, adventurer. Take it you have come to learn about the recent happenings at Ismhar. The site of is of interest owing to Gelmoran ruins. Gelmora being an underground city which predates Gridania, in case you were unaware. Any road, a few days past, we received reports from several anthropogeographers that a magical gateway of some sort had appeared in the ruin, and that all manner of creatures were coming and going through it. My men and I were among the first to examine it, and, well, it's hard to explain. We crossed the threshold into a set of corridors we've never seen before, and then suddenly each and every one of us filled with an inexplicable sense of dread. It was all I could do not to take even a single step. According to Iuna Kator, who accompanied us, the ruins are warded with powerful magics that sap the spirit and aether of all who enter, rendering them easy prey for the creature within. Thankfully, he managed to devise a solution. Aether pool arms and armor, which safeguard the channel the wielder's energies, that they might withstand the ruins' magics. Unfortunately, it does little to prevent us from losing our way. Though it beggars belief, I dare say, beggars belief, every time we have entered the ruins alone, we have found the path to be changed. We suspect this too may be the work of an unfathomably powerful mage. Needless to say, something strange is afoot. Traditional tactics are not like to suffice. Even experienced adventurers should proceed with caution. In the event, I believe you would take the brave ruins, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, kind of skip through the end of that, but I'm like, I've really got to get in there. Oh my god. Ooh! Slid right in there at the finish. That was so close. So close. Literally at the second. Look on, Overdweller. Yes, an invader from above. She uses our aether rights against us. She has defiled Titan Sanctuary, trespassed, violated, defiled. Overdwellers must leave. Overdwellers must fly. Brothers and sisters, fear her not. Her fate shall be decided by the Lord of the Crags. Hear me, Overdweller. You and your treacherous brethren must be held to account for breaking of the covenant. You shall be first to face judgment, then Limsa Laminsa and her Oathbreakers. Liars, betrayers, Oathbreakers. Oh, great father, Lord of Crags, Titan, we summon you, Titan, we summon you. Not gonna repeat it. He has come, the Lord of Crags, Titan has come. Overdweller, art thou deaf to their weeping? Thy vile kind coveteth ever the blessing of the land, and murdereth my children by the score, all in service to greed, such as is beyond pardon. Ah, but I am not the first to suffer thy defiance. Thou didst bring Ifrith low. Godless Overdweller, thy myriad heresies shall not go unpunished. Upon thee I shall wreak an terrible vengeance. Okay. And we are here now, fighting the Titan. So obviously he's still fairly low level here. Although, and I could be wrong, but I think this is the first time that you have a possibility to just get, like, insta-killed. And like, no damage, just dead. And I'm pretty sure that's the one. So if that hits you, like, far and away, like, it's not even that much damage. Or if you were standing on that red right now, you will just die. There's no checks, you just die. So, interesting little fun thing there for you. I have no good group heals, and this black mage is probably even in worse gear than my archer. Oh. Samurai out of there. Don't have any mitigations right now. I'll tell you what, those boss cleaves are no joke. That's my bad, though. That he did face him the other way, and I was like, hey, let's hang out, bud. Just stood right next to him. Okay, cool. Lord of Cracks, great father, Titan has fallen. The crimes of the Eorzea shall never be forgiven, never be forgotten. No, never, never. 'Twas your kin who broke the covenant. We acted only in defense of our lands. Cease your aggression, or never will there be peace. Until our dying breaths, we shall defy you. Deny, decry, defy. Mirrorweb doesn't even deny that they fucked him over either, if you notice. Like, she was pretty upfront about it. And it's because they absolutely did. Now, these are the readings one would expect of an icon. I have seen enough. We proceed as planned. Are you sure that is wise, my lord? Your curiosity is untested and unproven. We do not know yet its true capabilities. Then trust is mine, Ritotten, excuse me if I always forget how to say his name. My curiosity, as she so eloquently put it, would have bested Titan in the blink of an eye. Why, if there had been truth to legend, it could readily subjugate the whole of Eorzea given but a little while longer. Is that not so? It is. Not a greater single power has ever been conceived, much less realized. What you say may well be true, but while such devices may win battles, I do not believe they will serve to change the course of this war. Oh, but they will. Have a little faith, my friends. I cannot endorse this course of action. Fool. And now she has a fourth. Fascinating. Carry on, Crystal Bearer. Far though you have come, your work is far from done. Ooh, shit. naught remained to mark his passing. Well, the Asians are nothing if not elusive. It is little wonder that they should cast advanced teleportation magics at will. Oh, missed one. But they would choose to consort with the Empire. What common goal could they possibly share? A lot of fun facts about that we'll learn later. We'll say they certainly have consorted with the Empire. Let's go with that. I feared I might arrive too late, but I see you have the matter well in hand. I have taken measures to ensure that we are not pursued, yet I cannot say how long they will hold. Take your leave while the kobolds are still in disarray. I will follow anon. There is something I must investigate before I depart. I will teleport you to the Aetherite and Zelma's Run, and we will rendezvous at Camp Bronze Lake. Agreed? Am I still in the instance? I am still in the instance. I was just standing here. That's very funny. Okay. Oh, not that. Oh, it's okay. We won't trigger any of these guys. We're way too high level. Turn this one in, is this? Alright. I am relieved to see you well, but come, let's discuss our next step, excuse me. The word will already have reached Maelstrom Command. Protocol requires that representative of our order inform the High Commander of the mission's success. That honor is rightfully yours, Wisteria. Once again, I must commend you on a job well done. We shall speak again soon. We're just going to queue up the next one before we log out for the day here. Oops. Or, hear me out, I pull a 24-hour day, stay up all day until tomorrow when I have to go to work, finish the entire MSQ. Yeah. Y'all might have been excited about that prospect, but my wife is not, so.
You need sleep.
Ah! Thank you for coming, Wisteria. Word of your triumph reached me some while ago, but I am pleased to have personally confirmed. First Ifrit and now Titan. Truly, when I think of your achievements, I feel the loss of the Warriors of Light less keenly. And there can be no greater compliment than that. You and your order are heroes. The people of Lemensa are forever in your debt. I shall relay the details of your reports to the Admiral forthwith. Please send my regards to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. They're all very excited. Do I? Wisteria, this has been Philia. Your shoulder has informed me of your success. You have won a great victory for the people of Eorzea, one that shall not be forgotten. What is more, both you and your shoulder emerged from Orgrimmar unscathed, while Tatar and the others seemed as glad of that as they did of Titan's fall. You can look forward to the hero's welcome. We'll be awaiting your return to Waking Sands. There's much to discuss. Godspeed. Okay. There's quite a lot here, actually. Okay. Oh, that quest line. Okay. Yep. Alright, Travis. That seems like a really good spot to leave it off. So, let's get out here real quick. Do a quick little outro. Very nice glam from this person here. We'll do a sign off next to them. Okay, so we have got a lot done today. We leveled up our archer sort of inadvertently. I suppose I should say bard now. Sort of inadvertently from the quest line. Good sort of double whammy. Next time you guys see it, it will probably be a level 50 and ready to take on the Bard quest line, which we might do before we start the MSQ next time. I'll see. Thaumaturge will be leveled up. Of course, these are going to be leveled up based on the Grand Company turn-ins that we're still working on daily. We should not be a higher level here. These take time with the squadrons being what they are, so that's going to take a little while longer. But we made a lot of progress today. Lots of dungeons. We did 3 dungeons today. We did a trial. Just in general, knocked a lot out today. So next time we should be able to focus pretty much singularly on the storyline again. I think it's probably going to be a couple more days like this and we'll be able to finish the ARR storyline, which is very exciting. But until next time, continue to enjoy stories and hopefully we can share some together. This has been Eorzea the Literary Bear, signing off.